day underneath the uniforms. Keith Hernandez is not going to do that, nor is Timmy Tuffle. They do not have on the long sleeve jerseys underneath. Most of the Houston Astro ball players will. One of the people who may be affected most by the weather is the Mets' own Sid Fernandez, scheduled to make a start tomorrow night, not particularly liking cold weather, but he says once I get going out there on the mound, you warm up, and it's usually all right. Today, the wind will be blowing in or from right to left field for the beginning of the ball game, and right now it's going to be rather tough to get one out of here. The wind's not going to help you very much. It's been blowing in from center field since the start of the day, so we'll see whether or not that changes up here, as it is going to be an overcast day to get this one started. With all the excitement of this series, and of course the Mets come back 1-1, it is now a best of 5, and if you view it from the New York Mets point of view, to make it positive, you say we've got the home field advantage now. We are going to play 3 of the potential 5 games here at Shea Stadium, and of course the New York Mets would dearly love not to have to go back to Houston if they can take the 3 ball games that will be played here. Hal Lanier, prior to today's game, told the press what had been speculated all along. If the New York Mets lose here, if Houston wins this game, then Jim DeShays will be making the start tomorrow. If it should be a victory for the New York Mets, then he will return to Mike Scott. So he's going to set that rotation depending on what happens here in this ball game. If it's anything like the first 2, hang on. Some great baseball is about to come up. And are we happy that Bob Murphy is back with us, feeling well, back in the booth? We missed you, fella, at our ball game, the second one in Houston, let me tell you. And just absolutely delighted that you are back in this booth and ready to go back to Mets baseball.
Thank you, Gary. It is so good to be feeling 100%. First delivery of the afternoon. Fastball, strike call. Billy Doran, a switch hitter, batting left. 4 for 12 during the regular year against Ron Darling. Now the windup. Here's the pitch on the way. And a ground ball, one hopper, taken by Hernandez. Throws to Darling, one man down. Low line drive, one hopper, fielded by Keith Hernandez. Darling, such a good fielding pitcher, over there with plenty to spare. Now the number 2 hitter, the center fielder, Billy Hatcher. 1 hit at 8 times at bat in the series. On the infield for New York, Keith Hernandez playing first. Timmy Tuffle at second, Rafael Santana at short, and Ray Knight at third. Kevin Mitchell in left, Mookie Wilson in center, Darryl Strawberry in right. The catcher is Gary Carter. Now Darling into his motion, delivers. Sinking fastball low, 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hand hitter Billy Hatcher batted .258 during the regular season. Real speedster, at the knees, a strike call. He's very fast, and so Ray Knight is playing in on the cut of the grass to guard against the possibility of a bunt. In the outfield, Mookie Wilson plays him to right center. Time called, no pitch. Billy Hatcher trying to upset the rhythm of Ron Darling. Darling likes to work very fast when he gets into a good groove. And so right away, Billy Hatcher at the very last moment asked for time, trying to throw Darling off. Dennis Menke on the coaching lines at third for Hal Lanier, and Matt Galani coaching at first. Just missing the outside corner, 2-1. The series tied at 1 game each. The Astros winning 1-0 on a magnificent shutout by Mike Scott. Ground ball hit over the mound. It may go through. Base hit to center field. So Billy Hatcher, a ground ball right through the middle, a single to center field. Now the number 3 hitter, Denny Walling, will be coming up.
Number 29, Denny Walling.
Left-hand hitter, Denny Walling, and he is a good one. Walling platooned with Dickie Thon at third base throughout the year for Houston. That move by Hal Lanier paid off in such a big way. Denny Walling wound up hitting .313, and the combined ERAs of Denny Walling and Phil Garner almost 100 runs batted in. Now keep an eye on Billy Hatcher. He is a base stealer. Foul ball behind third. It'll be back into the crowd and out of play. The lights are on. The sky overcast. The game time temperature about 52 degrees. It will seem colder than that because the wind is blowing from center field in toward home plate. Mets have done well in postseason play in past years here at Shea Stadium. And Darling will lob the ball over to first. The plate umpire today is veteran Frank Pulley. Dutch Rennert at first. Joe West at second, and Fred Brocklander is at third. Darling in the set position, delivers. There goes the runner. The throw by Gary Carter. They may get him. Safe at second base. It looked like Carter's throw was going to nail Billy Hatcher, but it was not to be. He had 38 stolen bases during the regular season. Gary, I thought they were going to get him.
He made a good throw that time. Gary Carter had a good pitch to throw on. He got a fastball towards the outside part of the plate, came up and made a real good throw to Rafael Santana right on the money. Just got the leg in on the inside part of the bag ahead of the tag.
So Hal Lanier goes to the running game right away, and it pays off. He has a runner on second. Pitch on the way, and a line drive into right field. It'll be a base hit. A run will score. Hatcher around third, coming home. Strawberry's throw not nearly in time, and the Astros lead 1-0 as they put their running game to work. Billy Hatcher singled through the middle. He stole second, and Denny Walling brings him home with a single to right field.
Always nice when you start in the other club's ballpark in the first game in a series like this to get on that board first to try and quiet the crowd down a bit and set the other team to thinking, and they've done that right there with exactly their kind of game.
Now the very dangerous Glenn Davis accounted for the only run of the opening ball game with a home run into the center field seats off Dwight Gooden. Davis hit 30 during the regular campaign. He's 2 for 8 in the series. Glenn Davis, right-hand power hitter, one of the very best. Let's have the infield way around to left. And a wild pitch by Ron Darling. Uncertain start for him now. On to second base goes Denny Walling. Wild pitch by Ron Darling. Denny Walling goes to second base. 1 ball and no strikes on Glenn Davis.
Missed that one by a lot, low and outside.
Now Ronnie Darling will have to try to relax himself and settle down. A run is in on 2 base hits. 1 man away. The leadoff batter was retired. That's the only man out so far. Santana way over in the hole at short against Glenn Davis. Inside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. Doug Harvey is the umpire on the left field line today. Lee Wire, the umpire on the right field line. They had the plate in the first 2 ball games of the series. So with the crowd barely settled into their seats, the Astros have a run in. Fastball strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Wind blowing in from center field toward home plate. That's playing the left side of the infield very deep against Davis. And Timmy Tuffle almost behind second base. 2-1 delivery. Strike call. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis batting cleanup. The right fielder, Kevin Bass, hitting number 5. Now the noise level will start to build. Crowd encouraging Ron Darling in his duel here against Glenn Davis. Darling will check the runner at second, and now he elects to step off. Now Ronnie looking in, has his sign from Gary Carter. The 2-2 delivery hit him with a pitch. Hit by a pitch ball in the back of the shoulder, and it's a shaky start for Ron Darling. Now Davis goes to first. The Astros have runners on first and second, and a very good hitter, Kevin Bass, the right fielder, coming up.
Lost that one right off the end of the fingertips, right into his back. That was way inside. So Ronnie said just 2 pitches. He had one a mile to the outside, and that one in the center of the spinal column that time on Davis as he turned around.
Now Ronnie Darling with a real chore on his hands. Left-hand batter Kevin Bass waiting. Runners on first and second. And a fastball down the middle for a strike call. In the series so far, Bass has done well with 4 hits in 7 times at bat. Let's have the infield a stride to right against the left-hand hitter. Inside and low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Ronnie Darling will check it out with Gary Carter. Mookie Wilson shades over toward right center. Bass does have good power. Now Darling will glance towards second. Davis leading there. And a swing and a foul ball into the dirt near the plate. Denny Walling on second, Glenn Davis on first, and one down. A run is in. Gary Carter going out now to talk to Ronnie Darling.
It's about as tough a situation as Darling could face. Bass had a great year, finishing fourth in the National League in hitting, and against the New York Mets he hit .347, and he's continued that in this series. So he has been the best hitter for an average that's going to be in this Astros lineup today.
Kevin Bass, left-hand hitter, hit .311 during the regular season. That's in need of a ground ball here to try and get out of the inning. The 1-2 delivery, late swing and a foul ball. That goes over the dugout. Back into the crowd behind third base. Leadoff batter Billy Doran grounded out on a low one hopper. But then Billy Hatcher, a ground single through the middle, and he stole second. Denny Walling singled to right to bring him in. Walling took second on a wild pitch. Glenn Davis was hit by a pitch, and the Astros have first and second, one down. The 1-2 delivery, foul ball again, looping over the third base dugout. Every seat taken, as you would imagine, at Shea Stadium for the League Championship Series. When the Mets won in '69, they clinched it here at Shea. The same was true in '73 against Cincinnati. The only game they've lost here was in the '73 series. They lost one game to the Reds. Darling 15-6 during the regular season. The pitch on the way, far outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kevin Bass. The on-deck hitter is Jose Cruz. Ron Darling trying to get a handle on the situation. Count now of 2-2 on left-hand batter Kevin Bass. Now the pitch. Strike 3 called. Great breaking ball on the inside corner. Bass caught looking, and Bass will argue with plate umpire Frank Pulley.
He tied him up that time. Bass gave it the half body turn. Couldn't get uncorked on the baseball even if he wanted to swing. Darling laid a beautiful breaking ball at the knees.
Now 2 men away, and the veteran outfielder Jose Cruz, the hitter. Always one of the real good clutch hitters in the National League. Had a slow first half this year, but a very good second half. Wound up hitting .278. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Good pitch by Darling to start him off. Kevin Bass still mad at being called out. He's glaring out toward the plate umpire Frank Pulley. Denny Walling on second, Glenn Davis on first. There are 2 men away. A run is in here at Shea, top of inning number 1. On the infield, the Mets are pulled around to right. Cruz will hit the left field a great deal. Ground ball toward the hole. Base hit going into left field. Walling around third, coming home, and no throw. The Astros are in front 2-0. And Jose Cruz did hit the left field. A ground ball beyond the reach of Ray Knight. So Cruz an RBI. The Astros with a 2-0 lead.
Stolen base and a wild pitch right now. It figured into the 2 runs that have been scored, putting people into position to do that.
Those 2 mistakes have been very costly for Ron Darling. Cruz a very clever hitter. You have to play him as a pull hitter, and when you do, more times than not, if he gets a pitch he can handle, he will hit it the other way. He did exactly that. Now the hitter is the veteran catcher Alan Ashby, batting left-handed against Ron Darling. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside, it's ball 1. So the Mets are struggling here at inning number 1. Denny Walling and Jose Cruz each have knocked in a run. And the inning not over yet. 2 runs have scored on 3 hits. Ashby hit .275, and the pitch on the way is outside. During the regular season, as a left-hand batter, Ashby was a .245 hitter. .278 as a right-hand hitter. And overall, he hit .258. And Ashby 1 for 5 so far in the League Championship Series. The 2-0 delivery, strike call on the inside corner. Darling now hoping to get through the inning. Oftentimes a good starting pitcher. Once he gets by that opening inning, he'll settle in and become very, very tough. But the Astros are in front, 2-0 in the inning 1. Pickoff play, throw to second, out at second. They picked him off. Davis picked off second by Ron Darling and Rafael Santana. Oh, what a big pickoff play. Darling kept his cool. He whirled. He threw perfectly to Santana, and Glenn Davis picked off second base. 2 runs. There were 3 hits, and 1 man left off. So in the middle of inning 1 at Shea, Houston 2 and New York nothing.
Let's go Mets!
The hard rock service that's in the minors. Sign up with Metro Media and get 30 days of free paging for any new player who signs up for 90 days or more. Call 1-800-225-1989. That's 1-800-225-1989. Metro Media is sure to become your MVP, most valuable pager, of course. Last of inning 1 at Shea Stadium, and Mookie Wilson batting right-handed, leading off against the veteran left-hander Bob Knepper. First delivery by the left-hander, strike called at the knees. Knepper is a craftsman. He'll work the ball in and out. He's a breaking ball pitcher, a ground ball out pitcher. Right-hand hitter Mookie Wilson waiting. Grounder foul over the dugout and out of play. Mookie 1 for 8 so far in League Championship Series play. Setting the Astros at first base, Glenn Davis. Billy Doran at second, Craig Reynolds at short, and Denny Walling playing third. 2-strike delivery, and a swing and a miss struck him out. Mookie tried to hold on his swing, but he had gone too far. Knepper, lifetime against New York, has won 11 and lost 11. This year, he has been very good against New York, winning 3 and losing only 1, including a shutout right after the All-Star break in the Astrodome. In the outfield for the Astros, Jose Cruz in left. Very speedy Billy Hatcher in center. Kevin Bass around in right. Now Kevin Mitchell. Mitch had 2 for 14 against Knepper this year. Mitchell on the year hit .277, a good rookie season. Left-hander Knepper winds, and the pitch on the way, and a towering pop foul, probably out of play. Coming over for a look is Craig Reynolds. It goes into the crowd. Houston 2, New York nothing. Last of inning 1. This will be a very entertaining series. Hal Lanier has said that if the Astros win today, they'll pitch left-hander Jim DeShays tomorrow night. If the Mets win today, they'll come back with Mike Scott. For New York, it'll be Sid Fernandez with Dwight Gooden, the Monday pitcher. Now the windup by Knepper, pitch on the way. Breaking ball strike on the outside corner. He can thread a needle. Infield and the outfield straight away. Alan Ashby, the veteran, is behind the plate. Overcast skies, probably about 50 degrees. Now Ashby siding in. Tried to hit the outside corner, just missed with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He was in a pitching slump toward the end of the year, and there was great concern over Bob Knepper. But then his last start of the year against Atlanta, he had 5 perfect innings and then left the ball game. So he finished up on a very strong note. 1-2 delivery, foul ball down the left field line. On the year, Knepper won 17 and lost only 12. Now in his 6th year pitching for the Houston Astros. 10-year Major League veteran, started out with the Giants, 4.5 years, then was traded to Houston. Kevin Mitchell standing out of the batter's box now. Keith Hernandez waiting on deck, and then Gary Carter. That's with an early uphill fight after Houston scored twice in the first inning. 1-2 delivery by Knepper. Ground ball hit to shortstop. Reynolds to his left has it. The throw on to first in time for the out. So Mitchell grounds out short to first. 2 outs and nobody on. Keith Hernandez will bat. Keith 3 hits in 7 times at bat in the first 2 games of the series. Coming off of such a beautiful year. Hernandez wound up hitting .310. 13 home runs and 83 runs batted in. And he hit over 300 against left-handed pitching. Gary Carter taking a few phantom swings in the on-deck circle. Buddy Harrelson coaching at third. Bill Robinson at first. Fastball inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
It's a real pivotal game. If they can get a lefty to win here and bring Deshays in and neutralize the Mets with another left-hander tomorrow, if they can do that, then they will have done exactly what Hal Lanier wanted to do before this series ever started.
It'll follow their game plan exactly right. At the knees, a strike call, and they're certainly off to a good start here today. Every manager in the National League would prefer to have a left-hander go against the New York Mets. No doubt about it. The Mets lineup against right-handed pitching is stronger than the lineup against left-handed pitching. With a left-hander out there, you neutralize Darryl Strawberry. The pitch on the way, and a ground ball hit down to first. Glenn Davis will run to the bag, and the Mets go down 1-2-3. So a good start for the Astros at the end of 1 inning at Shea Stadium. Houston 2 and New York nothing. Turn it bat. Veteran left-hand batter. He's actually a switch hitter batting left. As a left-hand hitter, hitting at .245 over the regular season. Ashby 1 for 5 in postseason. Now Darling into his windup. The pitch on the way. Low outside. It is ball 1. On the infield, the Mets move a stride to right. Mookie Wilson in center field playing a stride to right center. High outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Houston scoring 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. 2-0 delivery. Strike call to the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike now to Ashby. Craig Reynolds on deck, and then Bob Nepper. Bottom third of the Houston order coming up here in the second inning. Strike call on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This would be such a big game for the Astros to win. It would give Mike Scott an extra day of rest, and they would go with Jim Deshays tomorrow night. Now the windup, 2-2 delivery. Ground ball on the right side of the infield. Tuffle to his left. Throws now to Hernandez. That retires Ashby. 1 down. Ron Darling, a ground ball out pitcher. That looks more like Ron Darling. 1 out and nobody on. And coming up now will be Craig Reynolds. Reynolds, a left-hand hitter. 2 hits and 3 times at bat. He was in the first ball game. Dickie Thon played the second game. They have platooned all year. Thon playing against southpaw pitching. Craig Reynolds, a real veteran, playing against right-hand pitching. Craig Reynolds batted .249. He's a native Houstonian. And the pitch on the way. Split finger, low inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bob Nepper is out on deck wearing his warm-up jacket. Not a bad idea on a day like this. Today, chilly, but not unbearable by any means. For the night game tomorrow night, it may be downright cold. Then a day game on Monday here at Shea. The 1-0 delivery, outside, fastball missing. And Darling again goes behind the hitter, 2-0. Not the way he would prefer to work. Reynolds waiting on a 2-0 delivery. Foul ball back, no play. Reynolds beat the Mets a ball game in the Astrodome this summer with a home run in the last of the 9th inning off Roger McDowell. It was a game that Dwight Gooden started against Mike Scott. Mets rallied for 4 in the 9th inning to tie it up, and then Craig Reynolds won it with a home run in the last half of the 9th inning. In the American League, the Angels lead the Red Sox now 2-1. This is high and away, ball 3, 3-1. California got good pitching from the Candyman, John Candelaria, last night, beating the Red Sox and Oil Can Boyd 5-3. Angels are up 2-1. Ball 4. Reynolds draws a walk.
Carney's just having trouble finding it there. He's moving the ball inside, outside, up and down, so it's no particular spot. The strike zone is just wandering on him here, and he's not able to get it in focus.
Number 39.
He may have to just rear back and try to be sure he throws strikes and take his chances until things get better for him. Now Nepper is the batter, and the Mets will be anticipating a bunt. Ray Knight coming up on the grass at third. Keith Hernandez will hold against Craig Reynolds. Now Darling goes into the stretch, and a throw to first is not in time. Keith not playing right on the bag. He's a couple of strides away, trying to get a break in toward the plate in this pretty obvious bunt situation. Billy Doran is the on-deck batter. The pitch. Bunted on, foul ball, strike one. So Nepper trying to bunt him over, bunts this one foul. Billy Doran, a good hitter, the leadoff batter, waiting on deck. So the Hal Lanier strategy right here is to try and build one more run. Houston in front, 2-0. Lights are on. The overcast seems to be breaking up a little bit. And if the sun does break through, it'll warm the afternoon a little bit. Now the pitch on the way. The runner goes, and it's popped up into shallow left field. Mookie Wilson coming in. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Well, they took the bunt play off. They had Nepper swing away with the runner going. They actually played run and hit or hit and run. And Nepper flies out to Mookie.
He had Ray Knight charging, of course, at third, and he wanted to put the ball that way, but he got it up in the air. Had he been able to get it on the ground, he would have had a pretty good shot at a base hit right there, but he didn't do it.
2 men away, a runner on first. And Billy Doran is coming up. Doran, a switch hitter, will be batting left. As a left-hand batter, Billy Doran hit .258 this year. Keep an eye on Craig Reynolds. He is capable of stealing a base, although he's not a big base stealer. Well hit fly ball deep to right. Strawberry way back by the wall, and it is gone. A home run. Billy Doran hitting a 2-run homer. And the Astros are in front by a score of 4-0. Billy Doran, he has some home run power. You don't expect him to hit them, but now and then he will really pop one. He had 6 during the regular season. And the Astros jump out to a 4-0 lead.
Now Hal Lanier moved him back up into the leadoff spot because that groin pull's not bothering him anymore, and he was 100%. It's not quite what he had in mind, but he certainly will take it.
Now the pitch on the way is swung on, line drive, base hit going into left field off the bat of Billy Hatcher. And they are hitting Ron Darling hard now. He's got a location problem. He's not throwing the strikes he wants to throw. Time called, and Mel Stottlemyre is on his way out to the mound. Billy Hatcher hitting the first pitch. Line drive in the left field for a clean base hit.
Ron Darling did not give up a home run to the Houston Astros this season in the regular year, although he gave up 21 overall. The first one off him by the Astros, hit by Doran here in this inning. The Houston Astros have improved their ball club in power hitting as they structured it as well for the road as well as playing at home in the Astrodome. They've been a good ball club on the road this year, the best road team the Astros have ever had. In fact, one of the reasons why is just what's happening here in this ball game.
They have been a much better ball club on the road. They had a great second half of the year after the All-Star break. The Astros won 49 and lost only 25. Actually, at the All-Star break, Roger Craig and the Giants were in first place of the National League West by a game. Now Denny Walling is the batter. Throw to first is not in time, and we will get warm-up action in the New York Mets bullpen. Probably Rick Aguilera. Throw to first, not in time. Mel Stottlemyre was very confident that Ron Darling would pitch a tremendous ball game here today. He may have been just a little over-anxious, and it has been a lack of control that has hurt Ronnie Darling so far here today. The Astros are in front 4-0. Denny Walling, the batter. He takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Mistakes were costly in the opening inning. A wild pitch and a hit batsman. There was a stolen base that was effective for the Astros, and a walk has been costly in this inning for Ronnie Darling. Pitch to Walling, off-speed delivery outside. Gary, it seems like he's been behind every hitter, 2-0.
He can't find the strike zone. He's not able to hit the corners with it, and he's not close on it. I mean, he's simply out of it, and then when he tries to compensate and come back inside on the left-handers, he's been missing way inside.
And a throw to first is not in time, just lobbed over there by Ron Darling. A walk and a 2-run homer by Billy Doran, and the Astros are up 4-0. There goes Hatcher, the pitch. The throw to second base, the slide, safe. Another stolen base for Billy Hatcher. He stole in the first inning. He has stolen here in the second inning. Both times it has been close. Both times he has been safe. So now a base hit of the Astros would lead 5-0. They're in front 4-0. 2 balls and a strike to Denny Walling. There are 2 men away. Well, both managers, Hal Lanier and Davey Johnson, said they would run at every opportunity, and they're doing exactly that. Fastball for a strike on the inside corner. 2-2 on Denny Walling.
Catchers haven't thrown anybody out yet.
Not yet. Walling singled to right, driving in Billy Hatcher in the opening inning after Hatcher had singled and stolen second. Pitching 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. And it appeared he might not get a start in postseason play. But then his last start, he was superb. Ground ball hit to short by Gary Carter. Overhand throw by Craig Reynolds, one down. One pitch and one retired. Gary, he's a ground ball out pitcher, and he's certainly off and winging here today.
Yeah, he's throwing good strikes. He has a very deceptive motion. He's a lot like John Tudor. Looks like he throws a ball that's real straight and easy to hit. It is easy to hit, but the trouble is it goes right into the turf.
Now Darryl Strawberry, 1 for 7 in the first 2 League Championship Series games. Left-hander against left-hander. The pitch on the way. Missed the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. He'll throw sliders away, and he'll jam inside against Darryl. They play him as a pull hitter naturally, and he has good power, so the outfield is around to right. The 1-0 pitch. Hard fastball wide. 2 balls and no strikes. Ray Knight waiting on deck. Mets are going to have to break out to have any chance in this ball game today. Houston already leading 4-0. Now the pitch. Low outside, ball 3. Now Darryl wants to get out of the batter's box and think about this for a moment. All 3 of those pitches, Nepper was trying to catch that outside corner, pitching away from Strawberry. 3-0 delivery, strike call, 3-1. He didn't mess around with that. He came right back over the inside corner. Billy Doran back on the edge of the grass at second base. 3-1 pitch. Foul ball upstairs and out of play. So he is trying very hard not to walk him. He comes right back after him. And the count goes to 3-2. Glenn Davis deep behind the bag at first. Payoff delivery to Darryl Strawberry. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Made him look bad on a breaking ball, low and away. And yes, Bob Nepper is very sharp here today. That is his second strikeout. He was behind 3-0 and almost made it look easy.
Sure did. When he came back with that off-speed breaking ball away, that's the one Darryl just has immense problems with, especially when he's down 2 strikes.
2 outs and nobody on. Ray Knight, 1 for 7 in the series. Batted .298 during the regular year. Ray Knight, a former teammate of Bob Nepper's. They were Astros together. Ashby providing a target. Line drive, base hit to left field. So Ray Knight hit the very first delivery by Nepper. Good-looking base hit. Hard single into left field. It'll bring up Tim Tuffle.
Ray continues to do what he did all year. Among the starters, he has, in fact, among everybody, he had the best average against left-handers, hitting .376 against lefties during the regular season.
That was a good-looking base hit. He timed his swing just right. Now Timmy Tuffle, the second baseman. On the year, Timmy hit .247, but he hit most of that the second half of the year. He was the vastly improved hitter the second half of the campaign. That is so often true when a player makes that transition, moving from one league to the other. 2-out single by Ray Knight. The pitch on the way to Timmy Tuffle, and a sinker that is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Night game tomorrow night. We'll be with you tomorrow night at 8:05. Sid Fernandez will pitch for New York. For the Astros, well, it depends on the outcome of this ball game. Ground ball bounced towards second base. Billy Doran.
Any more runs here? It's early enough in the ball game, so the Mets have plenty of time to get back. But a couple more, and this thing's going to start wandering away. Darling's pitch to Davis, down low, ball 1. Davis, of course, the first home run of the series. The Astros now with a couple. Doran getting the one in this game. Davis was hit by a pitch his first time up, 2 for 8. Pitch is swung on a ground ball to third. Knight playing back has it. Long throw to Hernandez. They get Davis 1 down. Kevin Bass coming up. Bass, after a spectacular year, finishing 4th in the National League in batting. Finished at .311, well over his .281 career batting average. This 27-year-old outfielder has an outstanding future in front of him. And part of that future is right now. Left-handed batter who went 2 for 9 against Ron Darling during the season. 4 for 19 against Ronnie in his career. Takes a breaking ball for a strike called. Kevin Bass, in his first time up in this one, was called out on strikes. Darling has picked up a couple of strikeouts in the game. 0-1 delivery to Bass. Fastball missing outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ron Darling, during the regular season, 1-1, pitching in 3 games against Houston. Swung on and missed. Fooled him badly with an off-speed curve. He's ahead on the count 1-2. Ronnie gave up 7 runs on 18 hits in 24 innings against Houston, walking 6, striking out 18, a 2.63 earned run average against the Astros. 1-2 delivery, breaking ball just missed outside again, 2-2. Obviously, from the way Darling has started throwing this inning, Mel Stottlemyre and he discussed the kinds of pitches being thrown because he is going to that breaking ball. 2-2 delivery, fastball inside and low, held up on it, and the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Houston Astros in the series hitting .262 against New York. The Mets hitting .217 against the Astros. Yet the Mets have the 2-1 lead. Pitch missed inside and high. So he had gotten ahead of Bass but loses him. And Ronnie Darling gives up his second walk. Base runner on again. And it'll bring up Jose Cruz, who delivered an RBI single in the first inning. New York Mets won the season series, of course, cut 7 games to 5, and they were out hit by the Astros during the regular season as far as team batting averages against one another. Mets hit only .225 against the Astros during the regular year. Go to first base. We'll get Bass back.
Rick Aguilera will start warming up once again.
Ronnie's throwing a lot of pitches in this game. Darling looking over, delivers, swung on and missed. Another off-speed pitch. Cruz took the helmet right off his head on that swing. Bass will be held by Keith Hernandez, 1 down, infield playing for 2. Kevin Bass, 22 stolen bases, 37 chances. So he has speed over there. Darling will have to keep an eye on him. They play Cruz, the left-hander, to pull. Swung around in the infield. Throw to first, hard one. He gets back in diving. Ray Knight way off the line. He's over in the shortstop hole at third base as Santana's moved way around towards second base on Cruz.
He's moved over where Jose Cruz placed that last base hit.
What would normally be the hole between short and third. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cruz against Ron Darling. 2 for 7. Added to that with that RBI single in the first inning. Go to first base again. We'll get him back. Cruz bothered by a right knee first half of the season. Suffered the whole first half. His batting average not a good one. Throw to first, just got back in that time. Bass had to dive in, get the fingertip tag. But once Jose Cruz had a better knee second half of the season, he was off and flying. Finished up hitting .278. Darling looking over. Again will throw. Again diving back in is Kevin Bass. Ron Darling making hard throws. Over to Keith Hernandez at first base right now. Cruz stepping out. Looking down to Dennis Menke, the third base coach. See whether or not Bass is going to be going here with 1 away. Darling ready. Runner not going. The pitch swung on and missed. A good fastball. And Darling ahead on the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ronnie finished up the season with 184 strikeouts in 237 innings.
WBTR Albany.
Have a total of 5 people among the top 10 in the strikeout leaders in the National League. 1-2. The delivery swung on and fouled back by Cruz. Mike Scott, of course, led it. The Mets had Gooden, Sid Fernandez, Ron Darling in that top 10, and the Astros with Nolan Ryan there as well. These 2 staffs with lots of Ks. One of the reasons why they are 1-2 team ERA in the National League. Darling comes to the set, throws to first again, and again Bass is back in safely. 4-0 lead for the Houston Astros. They picked up 2 in each of the first 2 innings, and they have Bass on here with 1 down. Pitch swung on, a chopper foul outside of first base, and the count will remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ron Darling had very few times where a lot of runs were scored on him in any game, much less early in the game. His first outing against the Phillies, first outing of the season, it's the shortest time he stayed in a ball game, 4 1/3. 1-2. Looks over to Bass. The delivery to Cruz is up high, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Darling continuing to struggle here, trying to find those corners, and he just can't do it. Breaking ball he's had much better control of than he has the fastball over the first 2 innings. Ronnie leaning in, comes to the belt again, a lob throw to first base. Bass with a very short lead over there, goes back in. Darling again will throw over. Infield playing a double play depth, outfield straight away. Wind blowing in here still from center field, and Rick Aguilar is still up and throwing in the New York Mets bullpen. 2-2 count. Darling looking over, there goes the runner, pitch outside, throw down by Gary Carter is high, stolen base. The Astros are running at will.
3 for 3, and we're only in the 3rd inning.
Astros are now 5 for 5 in this championship series. Neither catcher has thrown out a base runner. The Mets are 3 for 3. So just as anticipated, base runners are having it their way when they get on, and Bass is now in scoring position with a 3-2 count on Cruz.
And you can't work any harder to try and keep a runner close than Darling did on Kevin Bass.
Ronnie ready, 3-2 pitch, check swing, strike 3 call. Cruz threw the bat away and was heading down to first. He'll go the other way. 3rd strikeout for Ron Darling, and there are 2 away.
And coming to the plate, catcher
Cruz thought he had the walk on that one. Now Alan Ashby coming up, left-handed batting catcher, grounded out his first time up. Ashby, a switch hitter. Ron Darling needing the 1 more out. Infield moves back now. Delivery to him, breaking ball, chopper.
Pretty good play by Craig Reynolds. That ball hit very hard by Santana.
And right at him. Either going to make that one or take it in the choppers.
The Astros are really blessed. They have not 1 but 2 real good shortstops.
Dickie Thorne and Craig Reynolds working. They aren't hurt when they have to platoon as far as fielding is concerned. Ron Darling coming to the plate. Right-hander against left-hander. Knepper's delivery to him is a strike call. Darling will be followed by Mookie Wilson at the top of the order. Knepper's 0-1 pitch. Check swing. He went around on it. And Knepper's ahead on the count, 0-2. Bob Knepper, a very good control pitcher. He gave up only 62 walks in 258 innings during the regular season. He has tremendous control, striking out 143. 0-2, swung on, tap down the first baseline. Knepper will play it to the bag. They get the out. He flips it over to Davis, and there are 2 down. Right now, Knepper's making it look easy. A ground ball pitcher who has done just that. He's had all ground balls in this game. Ray Knight had the single, and he struck out a couple of batters. Other than that, they're on the ground. 2 down, nobody on. Mookie Wilson coming up. Mookie struck out his first time up. Mookie has had a tough time against Knepper. 7 hits and 43 times up over his career against the lefty. 2 down, nobody on. Pitch is a check swing. He went around on it, and Knepper has the Mets very anticipatory at the plate right now and not taking good cuts on him. 4-0 Houston Astro lead as the Astros got 2 in each of the first 2 innings. Wilson, switch hitter, batting right-handed. 0-1 pitch to him. Swung on and missed. A fastball. He blew by him on the outside. And Knepper's ahead on the count, 0-2. Mookie ended up with a .287 batting average against left-handers on the year. The delivery to him, that one's down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The big house on hand here has not had a lot to cheer about from the New York Mets side of the coin. Added a couple of extra boxes, 3 rows of seats to the side of each dugout near home plate. Swung on and fouled off. New York Mets personnel, ownership, staff people, including Nelson Doubleday, are down in the Mets box, which is by their dugout, and the commissioner's box on the other side. Chub Feeney, of course, throwing out the first ball today, the National League president, seated over there. 1-2 delivery by Knepper. Swung on, fouled off down the right field line. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Knepper, in his 3-1 record against New York, pitched against the Mets in 5 games, 4 as a starter. Pitch swung on and fouled off. Just got a piece of that off-speed curveball. Bob Knepper came on in that long ball game in the Astrodome as a reliever. Picked up a win.
He won 2 games of that 3-game series. A shutout. Then he worked 1 inning of the 15th inning game and got another win.
Not bad work for a weekend there. 1-2 delivery. Swung on, lined into left field. Moving games have pulled out to a lead of 4-0. Ron Darling ready to go, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off by Reynolds down the left field line. Right night over will not have a play back in the stands.
In their 25-year history, the Astros have never had a playoff victory. They had the 80 playoffs. They lost to the Phillies. In 81, that was the strike-shortened season. They won their half. They played the Dodgers for the right to go into the playoffs, the League Championship Series. They lost that.
Yeah, just a 1 game. Was a shortstop, drew a walk and scored in the 2nd inning. Greg Reynolds, a left-handed batter. Darling's delivery to him is way inside, knocks him away from the plate. Reynolds 2 for 3 this championship series, and on the season Greg Reynolds hit .249. Reynolds picked up 6 home runs and 41 runs batted in. 33-year-old shortstop. Pitch to him, swung on and missed. Good fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bob Knepper will follow this inning. Then the top of the order, Billy Doran. 3rd game of the National League Championship Series, and Shea Stadium getting a chance to share in the excitement. 3 games here, and if they have to go further, they'll be back to the Astrodome for the final 1 or 2 if necessary. 1-2 pitch outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
One thing about it, if the Astros win today, the Mets do not have to worry about the field getting torn up.
No, won't happen here if they win today. The breeze, if anything, has picked up as that flag really unfurled in from center field. Darling waiting as Reynolds steps out on him. Reynolds did not have a good conclusion to the season. He hit only 149 the final month of the year. Pitch to him, waved at, struck him out. Split finger down low that time. That's going to do it for Reynolds. 1 down here in the top half of the 4th inning. Ronnie picking up the strikeout, and it'll bring up Bob Knepper. Knepper flying out to left field his first time up. The People Express team of airlines, with their low prices and frequent service from Newark and Farmingdale to over 140 cities, they cover all the bases. Bob Knepper, who had hit for 99 for an average, pitches a strike on the outside corner. He did have some extra base hits. He had 2 doubles and a triple. 9 hits and 91 times up. Pitch to him is inside for a ball. Knepper struck out 44 times as a hitter and did not draw a single walk in his appearances at the plate. 1 down and no one on, top of the 4th inning. Met fans just kind of waiting. See if the Mets are going to be able to come from behind in this ball game. 1-1 pitch by Darling is a fastball for a strike at the knees. 1-2. Ronnie looking stronger here in this inning. First two, he really had trouble finding the strike zone. 1-2 delivery, swung on and fouled back. Great to have all of you with us on our New York Mets radio network. We will be covering all of the National League Championship Series for you. We hope you'll be right there to join in. Darling getting the new baseball. Home plate umpire Frank Pulley rubbing it up. Pulley in the short sleeve shirt out there today. 1-2 delivery by Darling is outside. Just missed with a fastball, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield playing the left-hander to hit behind Darling. Outfield shallow. 2-2 pitch to him. Swung on and missed. Got him swinging. So Ronnie begins to turn it up. 2 strikeouts this inning. 5 in the ball game.
He's looking better now. He's getting into a groove.
Finding that strike zone. 2 down, nobody on. Top of the order, Billy Doran. Doran had batted in the number 2 spot in the first 2 games. He has always been a leadoff hitter. With the injury to the pulled groin this year, Al Lanier moved him into the number 2 spot, and now that Billy Doran feels he's 100%, decided to put him back in the leadoff spot, and he delivered a home run in the 2nd inning.
You know, Gary, unless the Mets start to catch up, Ronnie will probably have to leave after about 5 innings.
Down low for a ball. The way Knepper's pitching, they're not going to be able to wait a long time.
Nice to see Jerry Koosman and Tommy Agee here watching the ball game today.
Pitch is down low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes.
Both members of the '69 Championship Ball Club. Tomorrow, Jerry Koosman will be throwing out the first ball.
2-0 delivery. Strike called in the outside corner. See a lot of the former Mets on hand, of course, for this series. The memories of playoffs times past. 2-1 pitch. Swung on a ground ball to short. Santana's got it. Makes the throw to first, and they get his first appearance in postseason play for the Met rookie. Grounded out his first time up. 2 for 14 against Knepper in the season. Swung on, hit in the air to center field. Right at Billy Hatcher. Backing up. He's got it. 1 down. That'll take the stuffing out. 1 away here in the 4th inning. It'll bring up Keith Hernandez. Pitch hit the ball hard, but right dead straightaway center. Hernandez grounded out his first time to the plate. Keith is now 3 for 8 in the series. Keith has hit Knepper hard. 4 for 13 and a home run off Bob Knepper during this year, and a .341 batting average, and 2 home runs off him in his career. Keith, of course, a very good hitter against the lefties. Bob Knepper with 1 away and the bases clear. Hernandez takes time stepping in. Now will back out. Hernandez finished the season hitting .310. Pitch to him's a strike call at the knees. Keith hit .308 against the Houston Astros during the regular season with a couple of home runs and 5 runs batted in against Houston. Right now he just wants to get on to get it started. 0-1 delivery, swung on, line into left center field. That's going to fall in. Base hit. Hatcher lets it go to Cruz, who bobbles at Hernandez halfway down, turns around and comes back to first base. Keith Hernandez gets the single. 2nd hit for the Mets, and Gary Carter coming up. Fans doing all they can to get it going. Many of them on their feet here. Urging, willing the Mets on to get a run across the plate.
Important time at bat now for Gary Carter. Not so much for the long ball, but just to keep the momentum going.
Gary Carter grounded out his first time up. Infield plays for 2. The pitch is outside, ball 1. Carter also had a home run off Knepper this season. That's picked up 3 home runs against Bob Knepper during the year. Gary Carter had only 1 hit against him, though. That home run in 13 times up. Bob Knepper's delivery swung on, chopped foul at home plate off Ashby's foot and mask. 1-1.
When his control is really sharp, and it is here today, he rarely gives that right-hand batter a good pitch to hit.
Looks like he's hardly working, does he?
Yes. Makes it look easy, much like Bobby Ojeda.
Yep. That heater-tooter, classy left-hander style. Very smooth, easy delivery. Looks as though he could throw all day like that.
Turn that ball over, make it break away from a right-hand batter, keep it low and outside.
1-1 count. Delivered to Carter, swung on, hit in the air to right field. Going back on it, Kevin Bass, near the track, reaches up, he's got it. Hernandez all the way down to second. Here comes the throw to first. It will not be in time. Hernandez gets back. Carter flies out, a couple of steps off the warning track, and there are 2 down. Hernandez still at first base.
Pretty good effort right there by Gary Carter. The wind is holding the ball up. That ball was hit hard enough, normally, I think, to go to the wall.
Real stiff breeze, which right now is blowing in from right more than center. He hit that right into the teeth of it. Darryl Strawberry struck out his first time up. Darryl has had only a couple of hits and 20 times up against Bob Knepper. He is 1 for 8 in the series. He delivered to Straw, swung on, tapped out in front of home plate, third base side. Ashby got to hurry. He got him. No, he's safe. Strawberry gets an infield hit. Slow roller down the third base side. Alan Ashby, the catcher, came out and made a good strong throw, but Strawberry with that good speed beat it out.
And the New York Mets get a good break that time. Strawberry badly fooled by the pitch, but the fact that Strawberry can run like the wind really helped him that time.
So the Mets have 2 on, and their best hitter against left-handers, Ray Knight, coming up. Knight delivered a single his first time up in the second inning. Ray's had 2 hits and 8 times to the plate. Hernandez at second, Darryl Strawberry at first, but there are 2 down. Third hit for the Mets, all singles. Knight will take his time setting up against Knepper. Cruz playing back in left field. The delivery to Knight. Breaking ball inside. Gets away from Ashby. Not far enough for the runners to move. 1-0. 33-year-old Mets third baseman. Hit only 188 during the regular season against the Astros. Former team that he played for, of course. Ray Knight stepping out, making Knepper wait on him. Knepper comes to the belt. The 1-0 delivery. Breaking ball, off speed inside, ball 2, 2-0. Tim Tuffle waiting on deck. Ray just missed getting into that magic 300 circle for a batting average. Made a great try at it. Final stand at home. Finished up at 298. But well over his career batting average, now at 278.
He might very well be the comeback athlete of the year in baseball.
Get a real shot at that award. Knight waiting. 2-0 delivery by Knepper. Strike on the outside corner. He laid a tough pitch on the outside wide of the plate that time. Ray Knight leaned over but didn't like it.
Not the pitch he wants. He had the advantage. He wants a pitch he can pull and drive right now.
2 balls, 1 strike. Hernandez off second. Darryl Strawberry off first. Knepper to the set. 2-1 delivery. Swung on it. Missed. Fooled him that time with an off-speed breaking ball. Good pitch. Ray Knight was looking for the fastball. At least by the way he went about the swing he was out in front of it. Gave a hard swing. And a pitch that did not have that much on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Attentive crowd right now. Anxious for Ray Knight. 2 down. Bob Knepper's ready. Here's the delivery. 2-2. Swung on, hit in the...
Either Jim Deshaies or Mike Scott for the Astros. 1-0 delivery. Off-speed delivery out of the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes. Ronnie Darling has walked 2 and struck out 5. He gave up the 4 runs and 5 hits in the first 2 innings. High twisting foul pop. Knight coming over in front of the dugout. Look out. Makes the catch. Falls into the Houston dugout. All right. Ray Knight is all right. Nope. He couldn't hold on. I thought he had it, Gary, as he went into the dugout. What an effort by Ray Knight. And to the credit of the Houston players, and in particular Coach Lester Moss, they rushed forward and caught him as he was falling toward the dugout floor.
He had the ball in his glove initially, but he hit the dugout wall, the top of it, as he started to fall, and the ball fell out. Great effort by Knight.
Plate umpire Frank Pulley ran all the way over and was looking right down into the dugout. Marvelous effort by Ray Knight. 2-1 pitch to Billy Hatcher. Ground ball back to the mound, snagged by Ron Darling. Hernandez will cover, one man down. Now one out and nobody on, and the dangerous Denny Walling will be coming to bat. Key to the Astros' success this year, Hal Lanier, the rookie manager, platooning the veteran Phil Garner and Denny Walling at third. Platooning at short with Craig Reynolds and Dickie Thon. Walling batting left-handed against Ron Darling. He has 1 for 2. Line drive hit hard, caught by Tim Tuffle. 2 men down. Searing line drive right into the glove of Timmy Tuffle. So 2 outs and nobody on, top of the 5th inning. Darling pitching much better now than he did in the first 2 innings. He just could not settle in. He could not get comfortable in the first 2. And he was fighting for his life, fighting to stay in the ball game. Now 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Glenn Davis, the young man who supplies the Houston power. Breaking ball, low outside, ball 1. Houston in front, 4-0. Such a key game for the Astros. If they win it, they can come back tomorrow night with the left-hander Jim DeShays and give Mike Scott that extra day of rest. Missing the outside corner, 2 balls and no strikes. Davey Johnson has his rotation set. He'll go with Sid Fernandez tomorrow night, and then Dwight Gooden. 2-0 delivery, swing and a miss, 2 balls and a strike. Sun breaking out now, and it certainly is welcome. Not a brutally cold day by any means. Have a good chance at that tomorrow night. That's with the infield deep and around to left. Inside, moving Davis off the plate. The count goes to 3-1. Glenn Davis won the first game of the League Championship Series with a 2nd inning home run off Dwight Gooden. The only run that Dwight would allow, but Mike Scott was even better. 3-1 pitch. Ground ball bounced towards short. Tough play off the glove of Santana. Goes into the outfield. Davis is on base. He had a very tough hop to work with. Angling to his left, running towards second, trying to swipe at it and get that offbeat hop. It caromed off his glove.
Not much he's going to do with that ball. You have to make the perfect play on that, and he couldn't do it. They'll give him a base hit on it, and justifiably so. Raffy made that magnificent play the 9th inning of that second game when he pulled that doubleheader on one of the best plays you'll ever see by a shortstop, much like that one, but that ball just didn't come up as high for him.
Either you do or you don't. You swipe at it with your glove, and you hope that you'll find that pearl located in your glove. Now 2 outs, a runner on. Let's keep an eye on Glenn Davis. The hitter is Kevin Bass. He has struck out and reached on a walk. Left-hand hitter with good power. And the pitch on the way. Strike call to the outside corner. Kevin Bass is a youngster the Astros gambled on 3 years ago. Late in the year, Milwaukee had a chance to win, needed a veteran pitcher. At that time, Don Sutton was pitching for the Astros, and Houston, going no place, traded Sutton to Milwaukee. They came up with this young man, Kevin Bass. He has become a good one. Foul ball hit down the left field line. It'll twist out of play. And a 2-strike count on Kevin Bass. One of the reasons the Mets have trouble with Houston now, one of the players who came on that Bass deal was Frank DePino. Well, DePino, in the middle of the year, was traded to the Cubs. DePino is the one Houston pitcher the Mets would just tear up.
Oh, yeah, when he came in, and a left-hander, too. The New York Mets ate him alive, and they're both with Chicago and Houston.
Waiting on a 2-strike delivery. Outside. As far as the Mets are concerned, it's a shame they traded Frank DePino away.
Like to see him in the playoffs if you're with the New York Mets.
In that trade, by the way, they got the veteran Davey Lopes. The kind of ball player you like to have on your ball club when you're trying to win a pennant. And you have a real chance to win one. Darling with a runner on first. The pitch on the way. Foul ball, no play. That'll go into the third base dugout. And the count is 1-2. Kevin Bass, 4 hits and 8 times up in the series. He has become such a good player for the Astros. Billy Hatcher was a great trade for Houston. They sent Jerry Mumphrey, who does not cover a lot of ground, to the Cubs for Billy Hatcher, who has blazing speed. And Hatcher has continued to develop, so much so that Terry Poole, a pretty good hitter, one of the best hitters in the game, is now a pinch hitter. Last time the Astros were in postseason play, the big hitter was Terry Poole. The pitch on the way, and a pop foul, no play, back into the crowd. 4-0, Houston in front. They are batting, top of the 5th inning. Much better looking day now. Lights are still on, but there's enough sunshine to get along without them right now. The parking lot is just one vast sea of automobiles and buses. It'll take a while to get away from Shea when this day is over. Back again tomorrow night for Game 4 of the League Championship Series. Hernandez playing right behind Davis, the base runner. Now dropping back to cover the hole, and a line drive down the right field line. Strawberry on the run, Great catch! Great catch by Darryl Strawberry. Saved a run. Line drive into the right field corner. Hometown homer inning. By the way, Rick Aguilera is on call in the bullpen. Timmy Tuffle is leading off, and the Mets are batting for Ed Murphy of Staten Island and R. Allen of Newark, New Jersey. The pitch, high and away, ball 1 to Timmy Tuffle. So if the Mets should hit a home run here in the home 5th inning, Ed Murphy of Staten Island and R. Allen of Newark, New Jersey would each win a foul. Strike call to the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. The veteran left-hander Bob Knepper has allowed no runs and only 3 hits. His control has been impeccable. The 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Turned that one over. Low breaking ball out away from a right-hand batter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rafael Santana on deck, and then probably will be looking to a pinch hitter. Mets are trailing 4-0 as they bat in their half of the 5th inning. The left-hander winding. Grounder foul, whacked past the third base dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shea Stadium, such a beautiful sports scene. Postseason play with every seat taken. Standing room crowd. Special added seats. Never checking it out with Alan Ashby. The 1-2 pitch. High and away. Good eye for Tuffle. He refused to be baited. And the count goes to 2-2. Now Knepper will blow on his pitching hand, which is allowed. The day chilly enough for that. Here's the 2-2 delivery. And a high pop fly out behind second. Should be easy for Craig Reynolds. Waiting, makes the catch. So Tuffle an easy out, popping up to short. Mets have had only 3 hits. Santana will be coming up.
Mets have not had a leadoff batter on in this ball game. And when you got somebody like Knepper and you can't get the leadoff man on, you're in real trouble.
Best way to score in the game of baseball is to have that leadoff batter on. Your chances of scoring a run are 50% if you can get that leadoff batter on. And as Gary points out, he has not been on yet today. Now Knepper winding. The pitch to Santana. Off-speed pitch, a strike call. So Ron Darling apparently has finished for the day. Lee Mazzilli is out on deck. He'll bat for Ron Darling. High pop-up behind home, might be playable. Ashby coming back, no play. Drops into the crowd. And a 2-strike count on Rafael Santana. Santana made strong contact his only time up in the 3rd. He hit a low smash at the feet of the shortstop, Craig Reynolds, who did a good job of picking, as they say in the trade, and then threw Rafael out. Rick Aguilera getting ready in the New York Mets bullpen. The series tied at 1 game each. Astros looking more and more as though they want to go into the lead 2-1. And if they do, they can come back with Jim DeShays tomorrow night. Look out. He had to get his head out of the way. That was high and tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It would be the best of scenarios for Hal Lanier, if his team wins today with a left-hander as Shea, to be able to come back with another left-hander, and a good one at that, Jim DeShays tomorrow night. Mike Scott then would have the extra day of rest and hook up again against Dwight Gooden on Monday. Ground ball hit hard, fielded though by Walling. The throw to first, high throw, but it's out at first base. Walling left the bag, went into the air, made the catch, came back down on the bag, 2 men down.
You see nothing short of spectacular defensive play by both ball clubs in these 3 games thus far. They simply have not made a big miscue or any miscue to open up an inning, and have made those kinds of plays that prevent you from getting an inning going. Both ball clubs have done that.
Santana now has been up twice, ripped the ball both times, and both times been thrown out. Lee Mazzilli hitting for Ron Darling. Has a very good acquisition by the Mets late in the year. Excellent eye at the plate. Line drive, base hit to center field. Mazzilli, who normally goes up there looking perhaps to work out a walk, hitting the first pitch and line shot into center field for a clean base hit. That'll be the 4th hit of the game for New York. Now to the top of the batting order for Mookie Wilson. Mookie was fooled and was struck out in the first inning. Made strong contact, lined out in the 3rd. So a 2-out single by pinch hitter Lee Mazzilli. Mets trailing 4-0 in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Many of the members of the 69 ball club that won a World Series are here as guests of the Mets watching the ball game. Foul tip, no play, strike 1. In '73, the Mets won by beating Cincinnati in the National League Championship Series, winning 2 out of 3 here after splitting the first 2 at Cincinnati. In '69, they opened the playoff series in Atlanta and then won it here at Shea Stadium. Unless they win today, they cannot clinch it here at Shea. In order for the Mets to win at home, they have to win today, tomorrow night, and on Monday. Right now, that looks like a huge order to try and fill. Nepper, the veteran left-hander, 11th year of the major leagues, checking the runner at first. Mookie lays off. That's high outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mookie Wilson. Mookie came back to make this a dream type of year. Injured in spring training when he was trying to come back from surgery. Waiting on a 1-1 pitch in the dirt. He gets behind Ashby. Mazzilli is running. The throw, the slide. He's safe. Mazzilli on second. That may be a short pass ball. It went through the legs of Ashby, and very alert base running by Mazzilli. Very rarely, I think, would a base runner take off on that. Ball was right behind the feet of Alan Ashby. Mazzilli takes off, and he made it.
Couldn't find it. Ashby couldn't find the baseball because home plate umpire Frank Pulley was standing over it. Pulley, of course, didn't know that when he realized that he backed up, but while all that's going on, Ashby's scurrying around back there trying to pick the ball up. Mazzilli wisely took off.
And we'll wait for the official scoring. It will be a pass ball. That's now with a chance to get a run if they can get a timely hit. They're operating with 2 men down. The count 2-1 to Mookie Wilson. And
that's where he was put in the bullpen. Is going to get a shot at it right away.
So Aguilera walks in here to fulfill an important assignment. During the regular season, Aguilera was 10-7 with a 3.88 earned run average. Rick Aguilera, handsome right-hander, signed out of Brigham Young University by the New York Mets. Aguilera has good stuff. Very determined young pitcher. He was determined to get that 10th win after struggling so bitterly over the first half of the year, and he wound up getting it. Now Cruz with 1 for 2, leading off, top of the 6th inning. Breaking ball inside, low, ball 1. They want the half swing checked out. Yes, he did swing, says Fred Brocklander, the umpire at 3rd. Happy assignment for Fred Brocklander. His first postseason assignment. Makes his home in nearby Kew Gardens in Queens. Good umpire. And the pitch on the way by Aggie. Low and outside. Doug Harvey, the National League senior umpire, heading the umpiring crew, working the League Championship Series. He had the plate of the opening game in the Astrodome. Low and inside, and Aguilera with a 2-1 count on Jose Cruz. Mets have had a couple of opportunities to get a run here today, and both times they have hit a line drive right at somebody. The last being a line drive hit by Mookie right at Billy Doran with a runner on second. 2-1 delivery. Ball 3, outside, low, 3-1. Alan Ashby on deck, and then Craig Reynolds.
This is the first appearance Rick Aguilera has made against the Houston Astros. He did not pitch them against them last year, and he has not pitched them against them this year.
The Astros 4 runs on 6 hits. New York no runs and 4 hits. Fastball low, ball 4. There's that Cardinal set of baseball walking the leadoff batter. Mets have not had their leadoff batter on base today.
Houston,
and the Astros now for the first time have their leadoff batter on. However, they have been successful by getting 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. Denny Walling and Jose Cruz each knocked in a run. Then in the second inning, Billy Doran hit a 2-run homer off Ron Darling. The hitter is Alan Ashby. Let's see if they try to put on a hit-and-run play. The pitch on the way, foul ball behind third. He was not running. And the count 1 strike to Alan Ashby. These two teams played it awfully tough during the regular season. Mets won 7 of the 12. The Astros won the last 3. They swept a 3-game series from New York right after the All-Star break, and then they were through for the year. They won the Sunday game in 15 innings. Bouncing ball hit to third. Knight to Tuffle 1. Now to Hernandez. In the dirt. Double play. Scooped out by Keith Hernandez. 5-4-3 for the double play.
Good play that time by Tim Tuffle on the pivot. Ray Knight's throw took him right into the runner, and the toss was a little bit high, so he almost aired him out to dry on that one, but he got the throw over, and Keith did the rest at first base.
Took enough of a hit that the throw was in the dirt, but that is just a routine play for Keith Hernandez to dig a ball out of the dirt. So 2 outs and nobody on. Top of the 6th inning. Now Craig Reynolds. The veteran shortstop drew a walk. He was on base when Billy Doran hit his 7th home run of the year. A shot over the wall in right center field. And that made it 4-0 in favor of the Astros. In comes the pitch by Aguilera. Low inside, ball 1. Rick Aguilera was very successful in the minor leagues and arrived at the major league level very quickly. He's a talented right-hander. The entire Mets pitching staff is a talented and a very young pitching staff. Bobby Ojeda, the dean, at the age of 28. Low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. I would not want to be a young pitcher trying to crack that starting rotation. 2-0 on Craig Reynolds. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 6th inning. Aguilera siding in. Way outside, it's ball 3. And he goes behind the number 8 hitter, 3-0. You don't want to walk this batter. You'd love to have the pitcher leading off in the next inning. But Aguilera is very close to doing exactly that. 3-0 delivery. He's taking. Strike call, 3-1. He might very well take again. If the Astros are not going to score, they'd love to have their pitcher make the final out and have Billy Doran leading off in the next inning. Craig Reynolds slowing up Rick Aguilera just a little bit. Now he cocks the bat. Strike called at the knees. He was taking again. Count goes full, 3-2. In the American League, the Angels are leading the Red Sox 2-1 after winning with former National League star John Candelaria last night. They'll be playing again tonight. Aguilera with a full count of 3-2. Payoff pitch. Line drive to center. Mookie cutting over. Base hit. He has to back off. Take it on the hop. Thought for a moment about trying for the shoestring. That did not make good sense to Mookie. He backed off. Played it on the first hop. That'll be the 7th hit of the game for the Astros. And yes, Bob Knepper will come up. Knepper has flied to left and been struck out. Hitless in 2 times at bat. Bob Knepper during the National League season had 5 shutouts. On his good days, he's an awfully hard pitcher to beat. He had 17 of those good days. High and away, it is ball 1.
He really is a streak pitcher. There aren't many of those, but he wins his ball games in groupings, and then we'll go into a tailspin, which he did a couple of times this season, then we'll rebound from it.
Next delivery, fly ball hit to left center pretty deep. Mookie on the run, going back near the track. makes the catch. We'll pause for station identification on the New York Mets Baseball Network.
The Capital District's AM stereo radio station, 1540 WPTR Albany, the official home of the New York Mets.
Bob Murphy with Gary Thorne, last of the 6th inning. The Astros have led from the beginning. They scored twice in the first, twice in the second on a Bill Doran home run. Mets have had a couple of opportunities. When that has come up, they have hit a line drive for a third out. Kevin Mitchell will lead off against Bob Knepper. Usually when you're watching a baseball game and a team jumps out in front 4-0 in the first couple of innings, I guess you have a tendency not to think much about it. But all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard and now it is the 6th inning and you realize the Mets are now beginning to fight the remaining innings that they're dwindling down to a precious few. And Knepper has been highly effective, allowing no runs and only 4 hits. He was the first National League pitcher to shut the Mets out this year. Kevin Mitchell takes a strike called on the inside corner. It was right after the All-Star break. The All-Star game was played at the Astrodome, and then right after that, Mets came into Houston for a 3-game weekend series. They'd played 111 games without being blanked. Low and inside, 1-1 to Kevin Mitchell. And Bob Knepper then shut them out. Later in the year, very late in the season as a matter of fact, they would be shut out by Kevin Gross at Veterans Stadium and then be shut out in St. Louis in an extra inning ball game. Waiting on a 1-1 delivery. Up high to Mitchell. He'll take it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sellout crowd, a jacket crowd here this afternoon to fight off the chill of the afternoon. Not unbearable by any means, but the fans are mostly now in the shade, which means it will be a little bit more uncomfortable for them. Here's Knepper's 2-1 delivery. Outside, ball 3. Mets have not had their leadoff batter on base. So Mitchell will be trying very hard not to help Knepper out. But bear in mind, Knepper is one of the masters of control among National League pitchers. He will rarely hurt himself with walks. Sometimes he'll hurt himself by being wild in the strike zone. That's when he has those slumps. 3-1 delivery. Ground ball hit toward third. Base hit. Down the left field line. Mitchell around first. He'll hold there. He hit down on the ball and took a very high hop. It went over the head of Denny Walling and into left field. And now for the first time, the leadoff batter is on.
No question, Knepper's working a little harder in the last 3 innings, in the 4th and in the 5th and now here. Doesn't quite have the pinpoint control he had before, getting it up a little bit when he has to come into the strike zone. Just a matter of finding second wind, whether or not he can get it right here or not.
That's trailing by 4, much in need of stitching together base hits. They need to get about 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. And that's a large order against an effective hurler. Keith Hernandez, 1 for 2, line to single to left center, his last time up. Now the pitch, inside high. He had to get away from that one. 1 ball and no strikes.
Excuse me, I was going to say Hal Lanier in the dugout now, just calling out to Billy Doran. He wants Doran to come over and tell him to come from over the top. He's dropping down, indication he may be tiring a little bit. He wants him back up on top of the baseball.
And immediately they're on the telephone talking to the bullpen. And Charlie Kerfeld, the big right-hander, will get up and go to work. Hernandez, a lifetime .341 hitter against Bob Knepper. Mitchell on first and nobody out. Kerfeld, the big right-hander, who already is a folk hero in Houston, getting ready. The pitch on the way. Inside high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Now time called, and Lester Moss, the veteran pitching coach, will be going out to the mound. Lester has been in baseball for over 40 years. Did a good job of catching Ray Knight when Knight fell into the dugout trying to catch that foul ball. One time, he was a major league manager at the helm of the Detroit Tigers, a former catcher.
They want to make sure now that Knepper's not getting tired. They don't want to give the Mets any open door here. And they want to know, if you're tired, tell us. We got a bullpen that's ready to go. Moss had to say with him and comes back.
Mets would like to get him in real trouble before they can get him out of there. Count 2-0 on Hernandez. Ball 3, high inside. Gary Carter is the on-deck batter. Now Nepper, who has not walked a batter, is behind 3-0. He got behind Strawberry early in the game 3-0 and came back to strike him out. But he was very strong at that point. It was only the second inning. The pitch, strike call, 3-1. Billy Robinson coaching first. Buddy Harrelson on the lines at third. And the mountain of a man, Charlie Kerfeld, is throwing BBs out in the bullpen of the Astros. He is a power pitcher. He's the setup man to Dave Smith. Hernandez getting set in the batter's box. Nepper with a count of 3-1, and now to throw off the rhythm. Just as Nepper was ready, Hernandez calls time and he steps back. Kevin Mitchell has opened up the home sixth inning with a single. Now the stretch. 3-1 delivery and a pop-up into center field. Coming in, it's going to drop. Base hit. Billy Hatcher got a slow start. Has to take it on the hop. A Texas leaguer for Keith Hernandez. It looked to me, Gary, as though Billy Hatcher stood there for a moment and did not pick up on the ball.
Did not see it. He would have had a tough time on it, but he would have had a shot at it if he'd gotten off on the bat. But he didn't. In fact, he leaned backwards a half step, then realized he had to come in, and he had no play on the ball. That's a big break for the Mets because that one was right off the handle.
Good pitch was made by Nepper. He jammed Hernandez. He hit him right off the fist. That probably still hurts his hands. Lester Moss now is on the phone talking to the bullpen to see if Charlie Kerfeld is ready. Gary Carter is the batter, first and second and nobody out. Carter is 0 for 2. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Good breaking ball kept down low by Bob Nepper. That's for their best opportunity of the afternoon. They have runners on first and second and nobody out. Darryl Strawberry is on deck, and then Ray Knight. Knight has been the Mets' best hitter against left-handed pitching. Now Mitchell a lead from second, Hernandez from first. The pitch. Low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Gary Carter. You know that Hal Lanier does not want to take this left-hander out of the ball game right now. Not with Darryl Strawberry waiting on deck. Once he has pitched to Strawberry, then he would probably think seriously about the right-hander. And now he'll get a left-hander up in his bullpen. Here's the stretch. The pitch to Carter. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Probably has Jeff Calhoun down there. Calhoun's who they want to use in a short situation, pitching to a couple of hitters.
So they're getting Calhoun ready right now. The count is 2-1 on Gary Carter. Gary had a big hit for the New York Mets in their victory, the second game of the series. 2-1 delivery. Strike call to the outside corner. Carter did not like the call at all by Frank Pulley, but he must have threaded a needle with that one. So Jeff Calhoun, a left-hander, Charlie Kerfeld, a right-hander, are both working very hard in the Houston bullpen. Mets trying to come back down 4-0, last half of the 6th inning. Infield, a double play depth. The pitch on the way, and a ground ball slowly hit towards shortstop, and it goes by the shortstop, rounding third and coming home, Kevin Mitchell. A run is in. It went right under the glove of Craig Reynolds. A very slow ground ball. A tough play for Craig Reynolds. He was running in full speed. He tried to sweep it with his glove. Lo and behold, it went right under his glove and rolled very slowly into the outfield. Mitchell comes around to score. And it's now 4-1, and Strawberry comes up. We'll wait for the scoring.
That's the first big miscue. That's an error. He should have had that ball, and he should have had Carter at first base, but he looked up too soon. The ball went right underneath as he pulled the glove up off the ground.
So the Mets get a large break. Now Strawberry, the hitter. Here's the pitch on the way. High fly ball, hit deep to right field, way back, maybe, going, gone, home run! Strawberry, a 3-run homer. The game is tied at 4.
Strawberry's had only 3 hits ever off Bob Knepper. 2 of them have been home runs, and he won't ever forget that one.
His 28th home run of the year, 27 during the regular season. And how quickly can a team explode? They got a break on a misplay by Craig Reynolds. Darryl Strawberry hit the first pitch, a towering fly ball, pulled down the right field line and into the crowd.
And Ray Knight is at the plate. To Walling. And he throws him out.
Dramatic home run by Darryl Strawberry. Boy, that's making up 4 runs in a big, big hurry.
This tattooed a pitcher who was cruising along coming into this inning. They always that question of when do you take a guy out of a ball game. Hal Lanier had every reason to leave Knepper in.
He wanted Knepper to stay in to pitch to Strawberry. He had fanned Strawberry in the second inning. Now the pitch to Timmy Tuffle, foul ball off, no play. You know, in the second inning, he was behind Strawberry 3-0, came back on the next 3 pitches and struck him out. In the 4th inning, Strawberry got a lucky infield hit when he hit a squib down the third baseline. There was nothing lucky about the last one. Now the pitch on the way, missing the inside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. And this game is now tied at 4. Each team with 4 runs on 7 base hits. The 1-1 delivery and a drive in the air to right field, running back, Bass, way back, reaching up. Oh, good catch. Good catch by Kevin Bass. Racing to the warning track, reaching over his head and grabbing it, and he made a real good play. Both teams are playing a lot of brilliant defense. There's been a misplay that's hurt the Astros in this inning, but overall the defensive play is just super.
That's the way you expect a championship series to be. You make one mistake and you're going to get burned, and that's what's happened in this inning to the Astros.
Now Rafael Santana, the batter, 2 outs and nobody on. Low outside, ball 1. Santana has hit a pair of bullets in 2 times at bat, and he's 0 for 2. Hit 1 to short and the other to third. This is over, a strike call. Ron Darling is off the hook. He cannot lose this ball game now. And Rick Aguilera has a chance to win one. Pitch to Santana, a drive in the air to left field. Moving over his Cruz, near the line. Makes the catch and the inning.
Coming up, Doran, the leadoff batter, also has homered in this game. He had a 2-run homer in the second inning off Ron Darling, after the Astros had scored 2 in the first inning on singles by Walling and Cruz. Now we're all knotted up. Ray Knight in close and guarding the line at third. Doran takes the ball down low. Ball 1. Aguilera has fallen behind on the hitters. Came on in the last inning. Helped out with a double play ball as he gave up a walk and a single. Pitch misses inside. He's behind again, 2-0. Roger McDowell had been up and throwing for the New York Mets in the bullpen during the last half inning. He now sits down in the pen. Now Rafael Santana, I think, wants the sunglasses at shortstop. He'll get them and go back to his shortstop position.
He may want him for Mookie Wilson.
Yeah, he's going to take him out to Mookie. Mookie with his Kevin Mitchell, rather.
I'm sorry, yeah, Kevin Mitchell.
Out in left field. Sun coming through as the overcast which we've had today is broken up a little bit. Still a lot of clouds, but we've had a good deal of sunshine over the last couple of innings in this ball game. Everybody ready? Rick Aguilera with a 2-0 pitch to Doran. Check swing. It's high. Ball 3. So Aguilera falls behind. He gave a walk to the leadoff batter in the last inning, putting Cruz on. Then he was taken out on that double play. Doran has gathered 2 hits and 11 times up in the series. 3-0 delivery to him. He's taking all the way, and he walks on 4 straight. So Aguilera gives up his second walk. Now the Mets will have to play for that ground ball again, but they've got real speed to deal with. Hatcher, coming to the plate, has had 2 singles in 3 times up. 3-4-11 in this series.
The way the Astros have been running this afternoon, we have to believe that Billy Doran will be running now. They've run 3 times, and they've been successful all 3.
Astros are 5 for 5 in the series in stolen bases. The Mets are 3 for 3. But it's been the Astros who have done the job running here today. Billy Hatcher, a very tough person to double up at the plate. The delivery, runner not going, bunts at third base side. Good bunt. Ray Knight in the glove, bobbles, throws it in the dirt. It goes down the right field line. Making the turn at third, Doran. Strawberry will hold him there, and hanging on at first base is Hatcher. So the miscues are traded. Ray Knight would have had an easy play at first base if he'd been able to get the ball out of the glove, but it wouldn't come out. When he did get it out, he rushed the throw, threw it in the dirt. It went down the right field line, allowing the runner to move up to third base, Doran.
That should be scored a sacrifice and an error on Ray Knight. The bunt was going to move the runner without any trouble at all, but the batter should have been out.
So runners are at the corners, first and third. Nobody out. And now the middle of the order, Denny Walling, who has singled in 3 times up. Infield for 2, line drive to second, caught on the short hop, Tuffle to second for 1, to first. They get the no. Hernandez came off the bag. Here comes Davy Johnson. A run will score. The Astros are back on top 5-4, but they do not get the double play.
Keith Hernandez thought they had the double play. Davy Johnson is out arguing. Timmy Tuffle had trouble getting the ball out of his glove. It was going to be a very decisive double play, but Timmy had trouble getting it out, and I'm not sure. It may be that Renner ruled that Hernandez came off the bag.
Tuffle actually took a look at home plate. Fantastic year. 31 homers, 101 RBIs during the regular season for him. 1-1 delivery, swung on, check swing, foul ball down the right field line. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Houston Astros take advantage of the miscue by Ray Knight at third base, as Doran moved up on the error, which allowed the base runner Hatcher to reach. Immediately scored. 1-2 delivery. That's outside with a fastball. Carter going after it. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Each team now with an error in the ball game. Aguilar checking at first. Hernandez holding on Denny Walling. The 2-2 delivery. Strike 3 call. Got him with a fastball. 2 down. Rick Aguilar gets his first strikeout. And that'll bring up Kevin Bass. Bass, who came into this game 4 for 7 in the series. 0 for 2 and a walk in this one. Kevin Bass, a switch hitter, 302 left-handed and 324 right-handed. Batting left against Aguilar. The pitch is a fastball down low, ball 1. Kevin Bass had a 20-game hit streak during the course of this season, second longest in the National League for the year. Pitches down low again, and Aggie falls behind 2-0. The People Express team of airlines, with their low prices, you can enjoy away games from the stands instead of your sofa. Aguilar with 2 down and a runner at first base. Delivers. Taken for a strike by Kevin Bass. 2-1. Denny Walling on at first base. Hernandez holding with a left-handed batter up. Infield back and swung around, playing him to pull. Pitch swung on, hit in the air to right center field. Going over Mookie. Has time. He's got it. And that will retire Kevin Bass and the Astros. But they are going to pick up a run without a hit. There was a walk and an error, and they will leave 1 on base. A bunt. They give him the opportunity to lay 1 down for a base hit here as they already start moving in. Walling at third base, way in on the grass. Dykstra's job here is to get on base. Dykstra will be followed by Mookie Wilson and Kevin Mitchell as the Mets are down by 1, 5-4. Bob Knepper's back on top again. Knepper ready, left-hander winds and delivers. Dykstra's taking inside, ball 1. The bullpen will be ready to go. Charlie Kerfeld has been throwing now for an inning out there. He's just staying loose, and Jeff Calhoun, the left-hander's ready. The 1-0 pitch, squared to bunt, takes it for a strike. Lenny Dykstra had a 2-for-5 ball game in the second game of the series after 1-for-3 in the first one. 1-1 delivery to him. Swung on, grounded outside of first foul, and Knepper's ahead on the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can see the tremendous confidence that Hal Lanier has in Bob Knepper. Sticking with him here in the inning after he got racked with a home run and nobody out. Never even came out to move him out of the game. And even after the Astros come back and get a 1-run lead, still has Knepper on there. They want the left-hander to go. 1-2 delivery. That's outside. Off-speed pitch, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Knepper giving up the home run to Strawberry, the 4th. The Mets have picked up off Knepper this season. 2-2 delivered to Dykstra. Inside to him, and it's full. So Lenny, who will try and draw the walk, will really be leaning out and over on the plate on this pitch. Bob Knepper unhappy with himself, missing the strike zone that time.
I don't know if anybody, Davey, would rather have on base leading off the inning.
That's why he's got him up there pinch hitting right here. 3-2 count. Knepper into the windup. Here's the full house delivery. Swung on and fouled off. He just laid that one down the pipe. If you're going to get on, you're going to hit me. Ball knocked off into the stands outside of third base. He'll have to do it again. 5 runs on 7 hits and error for the Astros. 4 runs, 7 hits and error for the New York Mets. Darling charged with 4 runs on 6 hits over 5 innings. The starter for New York. Aguilera will be charged with that unearned run. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He struck him out. So Knepper comes back to get him. And that war is won by the pitcher. That's only his 3rd strikeout. Bob Knepper gets it, 1 down. Mookie Wilson, the leadoff batter. 0 for 3. 1 for 11 in the series. And against Bob Knepper, he's had a tough season against him. 1 for 14 against Knepper on the year. New York Mets had a tough time against Knepper all season long, and it's continued here today, but for that big blow by Strawberry. Pitch is outside, ball 1. Left-hander into that windup. The delivery swung on, ripped foul outside of first base. And the count goes even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Games that were played here during the regular season. New York Mets won 5 and lost only 1. Swung on and popped up. First base. Davis in foul territory behind the bag makes the catch. And there are 2 away. Let's pause right here for station identification on the New York Mets Baseball Network.
The Capital District's AM stereo radio station, 1540 WPTR Albany, the official home of the New York Mets.
Gary Thorne and Bob Murphy with you at Shea Stadium. First of 3 with the night game tomorrow. 8:21 pitch, and on Monday an afternoon game. New York Mets trailing 5-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kevin Mitchell singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3 off Knepper. Delivery is swung on and fouled off the end of the bat. Strike 1. Kevin had a good season against Houston pitching. He hit .290 against the Astros. A couple of home runs picked up off Houston. Finished the season hitting at .277. Batting 2nd in the order. 0-1 delivery to him. Swung on and missed. Turned that one over. Strike 2. Kevin hit 2nd in the order 19 times during the regular season as he played 6 different positions and batted in every position but the 9th spot. Talk about versatility. He was that for the Mets this year. 2 away, nobody on. 0-2 delivery by Knepper. Swung on, hit off the handle into right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Like the Keith Hernandez single, that one's right off the jammer into right field, and Mitchell picks up the 8th hit for the New York Mets, and then will bring up Keith Hernandez. Al Lanier standing, looking out as to how they want to play this with a left-hander up and a runner at first base, talking to Davis, the first baseman, and second baseman Billy Doran. Keith Hernandez has had 2 hits, 2 singles. He scored a run. Keith now with 5 hits and 10 times up in the series. A very tough hitter against Knepper. On the season now, 6 hits and 16 times up against Knepper.
You have to believe that if Keith gets a base hit, we're going to see Charlie Kerfeld.
Have Gary Carter, of course, on deck. Knepper's pitch. Hernandez takes it for a strike. Knepper has not been behind many of the hitters. That's why he gives up so few walks, and he will challenge you. If he does get behind, he'll come in and make you hit the ball. Rarely will work around a batter. Hernandez waiting. Knepper checks Kevin Mitchell and will throw over. Keith Hernandez finishing up with a .310 batting average, raised his career batting average to .302 the year he had. Hit .308 against the Astros. Knepper again looks over. The delivery is up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Keith went through only 1 slump in the course of the season. It was a long one for him, lasted almost 6 weeks in the middle of the year. Not unusual for him to do that, and not unusual for him to come back hot, which he did. Finished the season with 11 hits in his last 36 times up. Hit safely in 8 of the last 10 Met regular season games. Knepper's 1-1 delivery. That's inside. And Keith takes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez, of course, led the National League with 94 bases on balls. And he would not mind drawing the walk right here. 5-4 Astros lead, bottom of the 7th inning. Bullpen right now just standing, watching, throwing one, then standing and watching again as they are ready. 2-1. Delivery is swung on, hit in the air to center field. Will move to center field. And Orozco will be batting second as Kevin Mitchell is going to come out of the lineup. So it will be Orozco facing Cruz, Ashby, and Reynolds as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. An unearned run right now is the difference in this ball game. Orozco during the regular season would finish up with an 8-6 record, 21 saves, and a 2.33 earned run average. Jesse Orozco pitched 81 innings, 23 runs on 64 hits, walking 35 and striking out 62. Jose Cruz will lead it off against him. Cruz has singled in a run in the first inning, struck out and drawn a walk. Left-hander against left-hander right here. Keith Hernandez with a left-hander up, playing back at first base, stride over towards the line. Sun again coming through here in the mid-afternoon. Orozco into the windup, and the delivery to Cruz is a slider on the outside corner for a strike call. 2 home runs in the ball game. Darryl Strawberry, the big blow that tied it up for the New York Mets in the 6th inning. Billy Doran in the 2nd. Pitch is inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Astros bullpen is going to stay ready. Hal Lanier keeps the 2 pitchers up who've been up now for an inning and a half out there. Calhoun and Kerfeld. 1-1 pitch. That's way inside. Backs him off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Orozco gets the sign. 2-1 delivery is swung on and missed. That slider away again. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davey Lopes up in the Astros dugout now, getting a bat ready. 2-2 delivery. Strike 3 call. Caught him with a pitch on the outside corner at the knees. Cruz didn't like the call. But Orozco's got it, and there's 1 away. Jesse taking care of the leadoff batter here in the 8th inning. That'll bring up Alan Ashby. Ashby 0 for 3 in the game, 1 for 8 in the series for the Houston catcher. Switch hitter, he will turn around. bat right-handed. Ashby hit .245 left-handed and .278 right-handed with 7 home runs overall. Strike called to him at the knees. Orozco appeared in 5 games, 5 of the 12 played between these two ball clubs. Picked up the victory and a save. Pitches down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jesse pitched 6 innings in those 5 games, giving up 2 runs on 5 hits, walking 1 and striking out 5. 1-1 delivery. Check swing, misses outside. Ashby taking 2 balls and 1 strike. Catcher who has caught 3 no-hit ball games in his career, and a veteran, solid catcher. 35 years old. Pitch to him, ground ball to short. Santana to his right. Makes the throw to Keith Hernandez, and that will retire Ashby, and there are 2 down. 2 away, nobody on in the 8th. Craig Reynolds, the shortstop, coming up. Reynolds has scored a run in the 2nd inning. He came in ahead of Billy Doran. Drew a walk, struck out and singled, and he's not going to get to the plate this time because they're going to bring in Davey Lopes.
They want Dickie Thon at shortstop in the late innings of a ball game. So Dickie Thon comes out on deck to hit behind Davey Lopes.
So Nepper is going to be done for the day, apparently. It's Thon out in the on-deck circle with 2 down and nobody on. Davey Lopes, the pinch hitter, right-handed batter. Takes the pitch outside for a ball. Lopes coming over from the Cubs. Tremendous acquisition for the Astros in their pennant drive.
And they've switched over in the bullpen now to their bullpen ace. The man who finishes the games, Dave Smith.
1-0 delivery to Lopes. And it's taken inside, ball 2, 2-0. Lopes finished up hitting .275 on the year. Hit .299 with the Cubs, .244 with the Astros. 2-0 delivery to him, swung on, ground ball to third. Ray Knight has it. Makes the throw over to Keith Hernandez, and a good inning for Jesse Orozco. Side retired in order. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Houston 5 and New York 4. Season coming out of the bullpen. The youngster was 11-2. And he picked up 7 saves with a 2.59 earned run average. Kerfeld worked 93 2/3 innings, 32 runs on 71 hits. Struck out 77 and walked 42. Right-hander against Gary Carter delivers a fastball, swung on and missed. Strike 1. So Kerfeld is on with Smith in the bullpen. Ready to come on as the door slammer in a 5-4 ball game. 0-1 delivery to Carter is bounced in front of home plate, 1-1. Gary Carter reached on an error and scored in the 6th inning. 0 for 3 in the ball game and only 1 for 12 now in this series. Kerfeld with a 1-1 delivery, and he misses outside with it. 2 balls and 1 strike.
There have been a couple of occasions this year, Gary, when Kerfeld has not pitched well against New York, and on those days he was wild.
Swung on, hit. Oh, a behind the back catch by Kerfeld. Throws to first and gets the out. He caught that ball behind his back, reaching behind with his glove and robbing Carter of a base hit up the middle.
He is really a character. He's walking around like there was nothing to it.
That's his kind of fun right there.
He looked like Earl the Pearl on that one.
Turned around, made the catch behind his back, throws out Carter. Darryl Strawberry, 3-run homer, 6th inning, off Bob Nepper. Strawberry is also singled and struck out. Kerfeld's pitch is bounced in front of home plate, ball 1.
Boy, he's amazing. He bounces one in the dirt, then throws a blazer for a strike.
There's very little that bothers the Jetson boy, Charlie Kerfeld. He's just having a good time. 1-0 pitch is up high for a ball. He's behind 2-0. Kerfeld had that special T-shirt made up, the Jetsons invade New York, which he has underneath the jersey. 2-0 delivery, strike called on the outside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Charlie Kerfeld, the 2-1 delivery. Strawberry swings and misses on a good fastball. And that evens the count up at 2-2. Kerfeld, 23 years old, from Missouri, now lives in Carson City, Nevada. Grounded foul outside of first base. Made his first start right here at Shea Stadium, July 27 a year ago. Gave up 6 runs and 3 in the third innings as the Mets plastered him to the wall.
He was all over the place that day. He couldn't throw a strike.
He's come back to be something else. 2-2 delivery. That's up high, and the count is full. 3-2 on Strawberry. Mets desperately want to get that tying run on base here. Bottom of the 8th inning, trailing 5-4. Ray Knight on deck. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Kerfeld struck him out. Ball is thrown away on the throw around into left field, but there are 2 down here. Charlie Kerfeld gets a big strikeout on a 3-2 pitch, and here's Ray Knight. The People Express team of airlines, with their low prices and frequent service from Newark and Farmingdale to over 140 cities. They cover all the bases. So 2 down, nobody on. 5-4 Astro lead in the 8th, and Ray Knight, with a single and 3 times up, steps in. The delivery to him, swung on, fouled right straight back. 1 strike on Knight. Ray would dearly love to atone for the throwing error he made, which moved base runners around in that 7th inning. Pitch to him is bounced in the dirt again out in front. 1 hopped. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ray, with previous playoff experience, of course, with Cincinnati, 1979 National League Championship Series. Went 4 for 14 in that series, hitting .286. Kerfeld's 1-1 pitch to him, swung on, hit it.
Half of the 9th inning. The Mets will have Wally Backman, who's now playing second base. Rafael Santana and the pitch and Lynn Dykstra due up. Dykstra is playing center field and batting 9th. Now Dickie Thon is the hitter. The windup by Orozco, the right-hand batter waiting. And a fastball over, strike 1 call. Dickie Thon continuing to make an excellent comeback. Batted .248 on the year, platooned with Craig Reynolds at shortstop. And the pitch by Orozco, bouncer hit to short, snagged by Santana. Perfect throw to Hernandez, 1 down. And in relief, Jesse now has retired 4 in a row. Top of the batting order, one of the Houston heroes in the ball game, Billy Doran. 1 for 3 and a walk. And he scored a run in the 7th inning that put Houston back on top by a score of 5-4. Billy Doran in the 2nd inning against Ron Darling, batting left-handed, hit a 2-run homer, his 7th home run of the year. This time he'll be hitting right-handed against Jesse Orozco. And it breaks low, 1 ball and no strikes. Wally Backman is playing second base now and will get a turn at bat in the bottom half of the 9th inning. 1-0 delivery by Orozco, fastball high, 2 balls and no strikes. If you joined late, the Mets were far behind in this ball game, trailing 4-0. They scored 4 runs in the 6th inning and tied it up. Fastball over, a strike call. But in the 7th inning, a misplay in the field following an error on the part of Aguilera, who walked the leadoff batter, led to an unearned run and a Houston 5-4 lead. They scored that run without getting a base hit. Line drive, base hit by Billy Doran. So Doran with his 2nd hit of the ball game. Jesse had retired 4 in a row in relief. Now coming up will be Billy Hatcher, the center fielder. Billy Hatcher, 2 for 3 and a sacrifice. Key play in that 7th inning after the leadoff walk to Billy Doran. Billy Hatcher bunted down the 3rd baseline. Ray Knight had trouble getting it out of his glove, and when he did throw, he threw the ball wide, and Houston wound up with runners on 1st and 3rd and nobody out. Lead run came in to score on a ground ball hit by Denny Walling, a force play at 2nd. Throw to 1st, not in time. Mets tried for the double play. The run would have scored that anyway. Mets just missed that double play, but that was the end of the scoring. But it's 5-4 Houston in the 9th inning. Now Jesse Orozco checks the runner at 1st. Delivers to Billy Hatcher, a slider missing inside to a right-hand batter. 1 ball and no strikes. Roger McDowell is up in the New York Mets bullpen. Let's have their double play combination of Santana and Backman looking for two. Pitch toward the middle. Throw to first, not in time. Billy Hatcher, one of the pieces that put the puzzle together for the Astros this year. They traded Jerry Mumphrey to the Cubs to get him. Young outfielder with a lot of speed. Made a lot of progress. High and away, Carter bluffing a throw to first. Now Jesse behind on the hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. Denny Walling, the number 3 hitter, is on deck. We'll be with you tomorrow night with Game 4 at 8:05 p.m. First pitch at 8:20 here at Shea Stadium. Now the 2-0 delivery. Strike call. Good fastball on the outside corner. 2-1 to Billy Hatcher. Now Billy Hatcher looking down to Dennis Menke. Boy, he was a good hitter during his playing days. On the coaching lines at third for the Astros. Yogi Berra and Lester Moss both work in the dugout with the manager Hal Lanier. First year Major League skipper having an outstanding year. 2-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Runner going. Delayed steal attempt. They've got him hung up between first and second. Hernandez now running towards second to Backman. Backman to Keith Hernandez. And he's tagged out. Billy Doran taken out in a goose chase. Had to be a mix-up on the signs on that. And right after Billy Hatcher had gotten out of the batter's box and looked down to Dennis Menke to see what might be on, and there was obviously a mistake.
Yeah, somebody missed something because the base runner had no chance. He was in no man's land. Halfway down there, Carter just had to figure out which way to go first. Threw it over to Keith Hernandez, back to Wally. Wally running back to first, and then flipped to Hernandez, who tagged him outdoor and tried to knock the ball out of Keith's glove, but Keith had a good firm grip on it.
Might have been a missed hit and run play, but the pitch was a terrible pitch for the batter to try to handle.
Yep.
But Billy Doran did not get a good break on it. He's an excellent base stealer. Good man to have on first base when you want to put a play on. He had 42 stolen bases. So 2 outs and nobody on. Hatcher is the hitter. 2-2 delivery. Outside ball 3, 3-2. Ninth inning, 5-4. Astros with a 1-run lead. Infield and the outfield straight away against this right-hand batter, Billy Hatcher. Hit .258 during the regular season. Low ball 4, and Orozco has walked Billy Hatcher. Now look out for the steal. Billy Hatcher stole in the first inning, stole in the second inning. The Astros have run well. They're 3 for 3. Mets have yet to throw out a Houston base stealer. Now Denny Walling is the batter. Denny Walling, the third baseman, 1 for 3. Actually 1 for 4. He reached on a force play of the 7th and got an RBI when he hit into the force play. Has a chance to have the game-winning RBI. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside low. It is ball 1. Glenn Davis, the power hitter, waiting on deck. Denny Walling batted .312 during the regular season. Platooning with Phil Garner at third base. 1-0 delivery and a check swing slow roller down the third baseline foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sid Fernandez will pitch for New York tomorrow night. If the Astros win here today, they'll bring back another left-hander, Jim DeShays. If the Mets should pull the game out, they then would come back with Mike Scott. Best of scenarios for the Astros if they can win today, come back with DeShays tomorrow night, and have Mike Scott to go against Dwight Gooden with a full rest. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. High slider thrown by Jesse Orozco. 1 ball and 2 strikes. All of the offense was generated in 1 inning, the 6th inning by New York. They were helped by a misplay. Big hit of the day, a 3-run homer by Darryl Strawberry for the Mets. Be the last 3 hitters in the order at the bottom half of the 9th inning, but it's not your normal last 3 in there right now. Now with Backman and Dykstra there. The pitch on the way, the runner goes. Foul ball behind third and out of play. Billy Hatcher was on his way. In the American League, the Angels lead the Red Sox 2-1. Game 4 coming up in Anaheim. They won behind Candelaria, beating Oil Can 5-3 last night for a 2-1 lead. Jesse Orozco taking a deep breath to relax himself. Let's keep an eye on Billy Hatcher. 1-2 the count on the hitter. Throw to first. Not in time. Brooklyn-born Matt Galani on the coaching lines at first. There was a time when he worked for the New York Mets. Dennis Menke, the hitting instructor, on the coaching lines at third. Hal Lanier, of course, the rookie manager, worked as the top aide for Whitey Herzog for 5 years. Now the 1-2 delivery, grounder foul, down the first baseline, no play. Been interesting in recent years in Major League Baseball how rookie managers have fared so very well. When Jimmy Fry took over Kansas City in his first year as a manager, he was a winner. Jimmy Fry in his first year with the Cubs took the Cubs to a divisional title and got out in front 2-0 over San Diego. Padres came back to win it. Throw to first, driving the runner back. In baseball nowadays, the hardest thing to do is to repeat. The divisional champions are absent. Each team in the 25th anniversary year, the Mets and the Astros, are playing. Throw to first, Orozco really working on Billy Hatcher. And if you were on the mound and there was a runner on first who already had 2 stolen bases, you'd certainly try to keep a short halter on him. 5-4, Houston winning and batting in the 9th inning. Denny Walling, the batter. There goes the runner, the pitch, the bottom half of the 9th inning. Mets trying to win this one in their final turn at bat. It'll be Wally Backman. Danny Heap is out on deck to hit for Santana. And then Lenny Dykstra. So Davey Johnson will put up 3 consecutive left-hand batters against the veteran sinker baller Dave Smith. They'll play Wally Backman to hit the ball to the opposite field. Wally at .320 during the regular season. Left-hand line drive type hitter. The windup by Smith, the pitch. Under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Dave Smith is not going to hurt himself by walking batters. Houston 5 runs on 8 hits. New York 4 runs on 8 hits. The last of the 9th inning. Now the pitch on the way. Strike call to the outside corner. Denny Walling playing in very close at third on the grass to cut off that threat of a bunt by Wally Backman. Wally has been an excellent bunter. He really prefers the drag bunt when he's trying to get a base hit. Center fielder Billy Hatcher is shallow and over to left center. Now the pitch. Drag bunt down the first base line. Running for it is Davis. He won't get him. Save, a base hit.
They're going to argue he ran out of the baseline on this one.
Yeah, and he might have run out of the baseline, too. Here comes Hal Lanier. Davis fielded the bunt and was running right at Wally Backman. Wally took a step to the right, and Hal Lanier is contending with Dutch Rennert that he ran out of the running path.
He ran down, got as far to the right as he could, and he took about 2 steps outside the chalk line on the grass. He was out of it. They didn't call it. He's on first base.
He was definitely at least a full stride outside of the running track. And Hal Lanier is having an argument with Dutch Rennert. And you can't blame Hal Lanier for being out there. Now they're going to check it with the home plate umpire, Frank Pulley. You're going to hear a terrible roar from Met fans if the ruling is changed. Drag bunt by Wally Backman. He didn't get it away from the line as far as he wanted to. You have to get it away from the line, almost halfway between the mound and the line for the base hit. It wasn't that far over. Davis picked it up, ran at Backman. Wally stepped out of the running lane, made a head-first dive, tagged the bag with his hand. And right now, Lanier is arguing with both Pulley, the plate umpire, and Rennert, the first base umpire. As of now, it looks like it will stand up in the Mets' favor.
It's a tough one to watch for both the umpires. The home plate umpire has to keep an eye, of course, on the fielding of the baseball. And the first base umpire is moving into position, so he's moving away from the line. He is not in a position to see it. The home plate umpire is in a better position and did not call it. And so the Mets get a break on that, and they get the runner on.
Now Danny Heap will be a pinch hitter for Rafael Santana. Danny, a very good pinch hitter all year long with 9 hits and 30 times at bat and 8 runs batted in. Denny on the year hit .282. A bunt single, a drag bunt, with the Mets perhaps getting a break on the call. And the tying run on first base. Wally Backman, an excellent base stealer, draws a throw and gets back to the base.
The Mets have touched up Dave Smith this season in 3 appearances. They scored 5 runs on 4 hits in 3 innings against him, so he's not been particularly effective, although he has a 1-1 record.
Now the stretch by the right-hander. The pitch, bunted foul. Danny Heap trying to bunt that tying run over, but he bunted it foul back onto the screen. That's about hit the Astros 9-8. They're trailing 5-4. And it's right to the wire now, the bottom half of the 9th inning. Len Dykstra is on deck, and then Mookie Wilson. The blonde right-hander Dave Smith, the ace of the Houston bullpen, on trying to save it for the Astros. Walling is in close at third, looking for the bunt. Now will Davey Johnson leave the bunt play on, or will he take it off? The pitch. He's around the bunt. He gets away from the catcher, and on to second base goes Wally Backman. The tying run is on second. Around the bunt was Danny Heap. The pitch was way inside. Could not be handled by Alan Ashby. It broke off of his mitt. It went to the backstop. The tying run is on second base.
Tough play for Ashby that time. That will be a pass ball. As the pitch rode up and in on Danny Heap, was squared around a bunt, partially obscuring Ashby's view of the baseball, and then it hit the top of the glove and went all the way to the backstop.
Now, obviously, the bunt will be off. Dave Smith trying to keep the ball up and in to make it a tough pitch to bunt. The tying run on second. Nobody out. Bottom half of the 9th inning. Danny Heap, the batter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Up high, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Len Dykstra is on deck. Mets have never led in the ball game today. They were down 4-0. They rallied for a tie in the 6th inning. Houston regained the lead in the 7th inning. Now the pitch. Breaking ball outside, ball 3. And the count is 3-1. Now, should he walk Danny Heap, he would have a very skillful bunter in Dykstra coming up, and a chance to bunt the tying run to third and the potential winning run to second base. Then you would have Mookie Wilson to be followed by the pitcher, obviously a pinch hitter. Now Smith will step off as Dickie Thon makes a run to second base. Wally Backman, the tying run on second. 3-1 on Danny Heap. Now Smith is up into the stretch. The pitch. And he pops the ball up foul, though it'll go out of play back into the crowd. 3-2 on Danny Heap. So Danny Heap, a former Astro, became a New York Met of the Exchange for Mike Scott. Solid year, hitting .282, 9 for 30 as a pinch hitter. This big crowd now, most of them are standing to watch the excitement. Thon is keeping Backman close at second base. The outfield is around to right. 3-2 pitch. High fly ball to center field. Easy play. Billy Hatcher has it lined up. He's waiting, makes the catch. So Smith, who relies on ground ball outs, gets an out on a fly ball to center. It brings up Len Dykstra.
Gotta wonder about that. Why don't you lay the bunt down? I mean, he's left-handed, and a ground ball will move the runner up, but pop up, strike out, or fly ball, and the runner doesn't go anywhere.
Maybe he didn't like the way Danny Heap looked trying to bunt on the first pitch.
Yeah, could be.
Bunted the ball back against the screen. He might have felt his chances were better with Danny Heap swinging away. That's sorely in need of a base hit. Len Dykstra, the batter. Dykstra, batting only 1 time in the 7th inning, was struck out. At the time, he was hitting against southpaw Bob Depper. 5-4, the Astros lead by 1. Good base runner on second, Wally Backman. The pitch, foul back, no play. And a 1-strike count to Len Dykstra. Lenny hit .295 during the regular season. Plate umpire Frank Pulley cleaning off home plate. Mookie Wilson is waiting on deck. Lenny Dykstra, the man they call Nails on the Mets ball club, is waiting. Now the pitch. And a high fly ball hit the right field. It is fairly deep. It's way back by the wall.
He did it!
It's a home run! A home run! The Mets win the ball game. Dykstra hits a home run. Lynn Dykstra hit a home run. This ball game is over. Lenny Dykstra being mobbed by his teammates. A home run with a man on, bottom of the ninth inning. Towering fly ball. When it first went up, I didn't think it would carry that far. It kept roping for height and distance. It finally disappeared beyond the reach of Kevin Bass, the right fielder. The Mets down 4-0, tied the game in the sixth. Fell behind by a run. They win it in the bottom half of the ninth inning. What a performance by Dykstra.
The third home run, just his third, as Lenny Dykstra put that one into the corner of the bullpen, right down the right field line. This is the kind of ball game that'll turn a series around, because you've done it against their best reliever. You've done it against the starter who had the most success. You've done it with a long ball at home to turn the crowd on. The Mets have done what they had to do in a magnificent come-from-behind win in this game, leaving the Astros stunned.
Did you think that ball was going to be out of here when he first hit it?
No, that ball really carried.
It carried beautifully, and this crowd loving the moment so much, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be standing here, and they're going to be cheering for Lenny Dykstra, who hit a two-run homer in the bottom half of the ninth inning, his ninth home run of the year. He gave it that golf swing. It was a sinker ball that was low, a great pitch for a left-hand hitter to get under. He got the bat under it, and Wally Backman could see that it was going to be out of here. Halfway over to third base, he started jumping up and jumping down. Then everybody realized it was out of here for a home run, and what looked certainly like defeat suddenly has become a big victory for the New York Mets.
Magnificent, and the ball club just emptying out of the dugout, coming out to catch Lenny Dykstra as he came in. The fans stunned for a moment, I think, when they realized that ball was out of here. They don't want to leave. They want Lenny to come back out. Sure, he's on the way all the way back into the clubhouse at this point, but boy, they got their money's worth in this one.
And Lenny Dykstra comes out and waves to the crowd. There will be controversy around this play, Gary Thorne.
Sure will.
Because Wally Backman opened the last of the ninth inning with a drag bunt, and it looked like he stepped out of the running path in order to reach first base safely. When Glenn Davis ran right straight at him, he stepped away from him, made a head-first slide, and was called safe. Hal Lanier came out and argued long and hard, but Backman was ruled safe. And now Dykstra hits a two-run homer, and the Mets have won the ball game. Lenny Dykstra's ninth home run of the year. And what a towering shot. There was doubt until the last moment, I thought, Gary. Kevin Bass played it all the way back to the right field wall, and suddenly, oh so very suddenly, you realized he had won the ball game.
He ran out of room. Bass was back as far as he could go. Desperately wished he had about two more steps, but there weren't any more to take, and the ball was not going to be playable. And the Mets continue to hit Dave Smith hard this year, a very good reliever.
They have been very effective against Dave Smith, and so the Mets have taken a game that was a comfortable ball game for Hal Lanier. He had
just a great effort on the ball club. We came back and battled back, same thing we've been doing all year.
That looked like a fork ball. Am I calling it right?
I think it was a changeup, maybe a fork ball.
Yep.
And Lenny, it didn't appear that, I know this sounds strange, but did you hit it on the meat of the bat?
Yeah, I hit it good, Timmy. I'll tell you what, I faced him in this situation earlier in the year at Shea Stadium. Last time I faced him, same situation, man on second base. Had a fastball, I hit it off the wall for a double to tie the ball game. Today I thought he might come back something off speed, and he did. Fortunately, I was able to get the good part of the bat on the ball and hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, the folks in Garden Grove, California, out dancing in the street, I'll tell you, they'll be ready to pat you on the back when you come home. And I think Terry just about jumped out of the stands when you hit that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Congratulations again.
Having a lot of trouble hearing you out here.
I understand. Go back to the clubhouse where it's safer.
All right.
Lenny Dykstra, who won it for the Mets, 6-5.
Lately, you've heard from many banks about their flexible or adjustable loans. But with interest rates at their lowest in years, a fixed rate is the way to go. Yagen does more than advertise their fixed rates. They guarantee them. Yagen offers up to 80% of your equity for up to 15 years at a fixed rate of 12.75% annual percentage rate. No points, application fees, or origination fees. Call Yagen today at 458-8888. Yagen, 3 Computer Drive West, Colony, celebrating its 51st year as one of America's leading bank service organizations. Bill Crenny has the best ride home afternoons on 1540 WPTR.
New York, it's hard to describe the expression of feeling from the fans. A game I am sure they thought was gone. Mets were behind early in the ball game, 4-0. Darryl Strawberry hit a tremendous 3-run homer. Mets were helped along the way on an infield misplay by Craig Reynolds. Nonetheless, the big 3-run homer tied it. Then an unearned run allowed the Astros to gain the lead. Gary Thorne, very few moments in baseball and playoff history, rival the one we have just seen. We're down to their last 2 outs. Lenny Dykstra won the ballgame.
Yeah, and you get that big excitement of Darryl Strawberry's blow to put the New York Mets back in the game in the 6th inning. Dykstra with 9 home runs on the year, and 2 of those came against Houston. He had one off Mike Scott, so he hits home runs off people who don't give up a lot of home runs and who are mighty tough on the left-handers. The New York Mets have really done a job on Dave Smith this season, and they continue it here with a magnificent come-from-behind win. Jesse Orozco will get the victory, and Dave Smith in relief is going to take the loss in this ball game as the New York Mets do it in the bottom of the 9th inning. The long ball, 3-run homer by Strawberry and a 2-run homer by Lenny Dykstra, accounting for the difference in this one, and a big win as the Mets now are able to come from behind, take a 2-1 edge in the series, and it means that Hal Lanier will not be able to throw the left-hander Jim Deshaies as he really wanted to tomorrow, and will have to go with his right-hander Mike Scott, bring him back a day sooner than he really wanted to do, throw him in the game tomorrow. So the Mets not only win the game, but they turn those tables around for them to get the series lined up pitching rotation wise the way they like it. 6 runs, 10 hits New York, 5 runs, 8 hits for the Astros. Orozco wins it, Smith the loser. New York leads in the series 2-1. What a finish. New York 6, Houston 5.
Baseball at its heart-stopping best for New York Mets baseball fans.